Welcome to this episode of The Weigh-In, where we talk to content creators, bait makers, and industry insiders. This episode's brought to you by our fine sponsors, Big Al Speed Shine. You can find all their products at BigAlSpeedShine.com. Spray it on, wipe it off, done. Deep gloss, slick finish, big shine. Big Al Speed Shine, slick it up. FCLX. FCLX is a specialized extinguishing agent designed to tackle complex lithium-ion battery fires and conveniently packaged for use in boats, side-by-sides, campers, and homes. Proudly made in the USA, FCLX penetrates the battery during thermal runaway, rapidly cooling the fire and preventing reignition. The FCLX agent interrupts the lithium oxidation process that fuels the fire while neutralizing the harmful gases. Get yours today at FullCircleLithium.com. Now, let's get ready to weigh in. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Monday night episode of The Weigh-In. We appreciate y'all stopping by. Got a few people watching. It looks like we'll get some comments here in a minute, but we are going to talking night fishing tonight because I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I cooked yesterday all day in the sun, and I got to think, I was like, why do I do this to myself? I probably should be night fishing. But anyway, I got my buddy Jonathan Messick on here, and what's going on, brother? You are an absolute hammer when it comes to night fishing. I thought, you know what, this would be a dang good episode. Get you on here and get your insight on some night fishing and see what kind of tips and tricks you can give us that maybe some other guys haven't given us. Because, to be honest with you, daytime fishing is getting rough on old boy.
It is. And at night, we don't have to worry about pontoons or none of that running up and down the lake.
You know, you don't. You really don't. I've heard some horror stories that, you know, some buddies of mine that had to take some drastic maneuvers to miss some people that wasn't paying attention at night. But you know, it's one of those things that, yeah, you got way less boat traffic. I think the biggest boat traffic that we get, that I see on Wedowee, is the guys with the green lights over the side of the boats that are sitting out in the middle of the river channel, you know, chasing the hybrids and stuff like that. That those are the ones you got to watch it. But they're lit up like a Christmas tree. If you don't see them boys, something's wrong, you know.
Yeah. They set up on our bridges.
Yeah,
They just right in the river channel, sitting in the bridges.
Yeah. Now we'll get the guys under the bridges, but it's up there. They hit the main river channels out in the middle of the open, right there in some of the, you know, river bends, I guess, where, you know, they're sitting out there target hunting, and they'll have them lights strung out. And there'll be about 6 or 8 of them in a row, and you just got to watch out for them, kind of thing. So anyway, we got some guys showing. We got Jeff Brazil. I knew he was going to be here. He was chatting it up in the comments on there. He likes to night fish. He was on here that last show Danny did for night fishing, and I know we've had a couple of night fishing shows. So I don't want to. You know, I know everybody's like, man, night fishing again. But honestly, it's always good to get different perspectives of night fishing. I don't night fish myself a whole lot. I'm going to be honest with you. The last time I fished at night was probably, other than getting out there really early, an hour before daylight, night fishing for sure has been probably a year or so or more ago. And just I don't live close. How close to the closest body of water that you night fish? How close are you?
We're only like 8 minutes away from the ramp, and that's the main ramp on Lake Greenwood.
I'd fish every night if I was 8 minutes away. I'm 45 minutes away from a big lake, and my local lakes are daylight to dark lakes, so you can't get on them at night. So I don't do the night fishing thing as much as I'd like to. But, you know, I cut my teeth fishing when I was a kid. I say kid, you know, I was in my early teens, small ponds and stuff, and that's all I did was night fish. I mean, man, it was nothing better than getting out there night fishing, you know, on them small ponds, you know, when you didn't have to worry about nobody out there and the heat was good, you know, everything, you catch fish all night long. So I do have a little bit of experience going back that far. But all right, we got Jeff Brazil, Eric LaRue, what's up, buddy? Eddie Hudson, Nathan Edwards, D Daddy Fishing, what's going on? Jeremy Conkright, good to see you here. Alex Purrs is another night fisherman.
He fishes at night a lot.
He fishes a lot at night.
Kayak, that's a whole different world for me. That's a whole different world.
Well, you know, when I go back to the pond fishing, I did it in a John boat. I mean, a little John boat, something I could put in the back of my Ford Ranger back in the day. So, I mean, you know, obviously not a kayak, but I get, of course, he's on Lanier though, and he's on Lanier in the dark doing it. But I think he attacks it similar to what you do though, and we'll get into that a little bit later. And Eric says no jet skis at night for sure. And then we got Dean Boland Jr. in the comments. What's going on, Dean? But I wanted to start off the show. There's a couple of questions I've got first. We're going to start off a little bit on the kind of how you set up to go night fishing for folks that may be watching tonight that don't know how to go night fishing. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, last time I went night fishing, I took my wife with me. One of the bigger tournaments we did. And you know, we talked about it before the show. You blind as a bat, and then all of a sudden stuff starts lighting up, like your trolling motor arrow lights up on Lowrance, blinds the crap out of you. You got headlamps, you got spotlights. So I want to talk a little bit about how you set your boat up for night fishing to be successful when you get out there on the water. And then we're gonna get into the juicy stuff because we were talking about some stuff before the show started, and I think we're gonna get into some of that stuff here in a little bit. Coleman, what's going on, brother? So walk me through how you set your rig up to go night fishing to be successful, because I think that's where a lot of folks may not really know what they're doing.
Well, you always need your life jacket. That's the first thing. You got to be safe on the water because you don't ever know what's going to happen. Number two, you better have some pliers on the boat because if you're throwing a crankbait at night and you got a fish flopping in the boat, you gonna have a bad day.
Yeah,
Number
100%.
you better have spotlights and stuff. That way you can see like on the near. I'm sure there's big buoy markers and stuff like that, channel markers. You don't want to hit one of those at night either.
Oh, 100, yeah,
Definitely
absolutely.
life jacket, flashlights, just pliers. And it don't ever hurt to have a first aid kit on the boat either, because like I said, you never know what you're gonna run into. And if you're
Right.
at night, 9 times out of 10, you try to call somebody, they're asleep.
Oh,
If
100%.
you get up like 12 to 3 in the morning, people are asleep. They ain't worried about you on the water.
Right. They don't, you're the last thought in their head.
Yeah.
So now, obviously, you got to run your mandated, stern light, bow
Yeah.
mount light, and all that stuff. What kind of stern light are you running? Are you running, you got, I know they make somebody in the comments to tell me that big long pole they got now that I can't remember what the light's called. You run stuff like that?
Yeah. We just run honestly just a standard pole light. The pole light in the front with the red and green and then the
Yep.
pole light in the back. But I extend it up all the way so that way I mean you want to be seen on the water. I know
100%.
guys in our club that fish, they run the white LEDs down the side of their boat. I mean you
Yeah.
can't,
Yeah.
but just the main thing is just staying safe out there on the water.
Right. Now I've got one of those nav light shows that you can buy from YOLOtech that lights up. You can change a million different colors or whatever. It'll light up completely red and then white top, or you can just do the white top. Because trust me, once you post a video on the internet with that light, everybody's like, "Well, it's not Coast Guard approved because it's more than one light." I'm like, "No, you can change it to just the white top on there, But it's super, like you said, it's super bright LED. I saw Kevin Thornton's got it. There's that one big long, I can't think of the name of it now, but it's a pole light that goes in the back and it's like super long and it's got a, bulb, like a tall bulb on the back. Somebody will tell me in the comments, I'm sure.
I know. I wish somebody would answer this in the comments. How do the power pole lights work at night? Because you got to think if your power pole down and your lights under the water, people can't see you. I just
Yeah.
always do that. If somebody in the
No,
comments, that
no, you're right. You're right. Now, if I was running power poles on my boat because I run a camera, my nav light, my power stick I have the light on the power stick with my camera. So I still got my light there. Even if I had power poles with a light on it, it would sink down, but I'd still have a light sticking out there on top. So
sure.
yeah. Yes, YOLOtech does make the nav light show for sure. But there's another I'll think of it in a minute, or it'll come to me halfway through the show, or I'll remember it later. But it's like a weird name. It's like I can't remember what it's called, but it's made specifically for night fishing. It's like super long, but it's a bright, so it gives you your light, but it puts it way up high so the bugs aren't in your face. Firefly. Somebody put it. I like the Firefly stuff. There you go. Alex put on there. I like the Firefly stuff. All the Firefly stuff is really nice and bright. Yep, there you go. That's the one I was thinking. Firefly. I knew it was a name I would remember in a minute. And then D Daddy says his stern light has a YOLOtech with the camera. Exactly. That's exactly what I use too. Now another question: do you run any lights on the front of the boat, like headlamps type lights, spotlights?
No, I wish we could rig one up because
Yeah.
I would love to run like a light bar or something. Because I'm telling you, those buoys, they'll sneak up on you, especially if they float away off where they're supposed to be, and you'll smack one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
They
Now,
pop up out of nowhere.
yeah. Now I know the a buddy of mine we were talking about before the show. He's got one that he took a regular light pole for the front that goes into your bow mount light, and he took the top of the light off and put a metal plate with two of the Jeep, those little square lights you can buy. He put two of those on there, so basically, I mean, it shoots out freaking 100 yards or whatever.
And they're
But
bright too.
yeah, they're stupid bright. Now he only uses it like if he goes into a pocket, he'll turn it on, shine the pocket so you can see what he's looking for, and then go there that way. Sorry, I got stuff popping up in the comments, but that's how he does it. Because you see like pontoons and stuff with headlamps on it. I mean, it makes sense. If you drive, they're called docking lights for a reason. Don't only use them when you're docking. You don't ride with them late with them, but you turn them on from time to time. I know my wife's in the comments. She said, "Hey," she was. I guess my granddaughter's here. She was saying, "Hey, Pawpaw," a minute ago. But when I took her on the Ironman tournament, we fished. I went and bought one of those Husky um, spotlights and plugged it in. I was like, "You got to hold this light when we're driving down the lake," you know. And we went way back in a creek to start with because I'd been catching some good fish back there, and we didn't catch anything this night. But when we were going in, there was boats that were moored. They were anchored to shore, but they were way out in the water, you know. And I'm like, "Look, you got to shine because we got to get up on plane here. We got to zigzag back out of this creek." And she's like, "I do not like this. I don't ever want to do this again. This is stupid. Why are we doing this?" So yeah, spotlights always a good thing to have on the boat for sure. I mean, like we Dowie back in the day, my ex brother-in-law and I, we would fish it a lot at night. And back then there weren't many, if any, houses on the lake. The marinas weren't there, so you had to have a spotlight. You wasn't seeing nothing at night. So it was it was definitely a different a different feeling. But so I wanted to get that kind of out of the way first. Just talk about how you set your stuff up, how how you make yourself successful, because the dynamics in the boat change quite a bit when the sun goes down, I would say.
Right.
I mean, your mechanics change, everything you do changes a little bit. All right, we got a good question here, Pop. So we're going to get into the fishing part. Now we got through that part. Make sure you got good lights, life vest, pliers, all that good stuff. You're good to go. Fishing with Fowler wants to know, how do you think most big bags of largemouth are caught during the summer in Georgia? So we'll start off with that question. Thank you for the question. And I don't know. What do you answer it for your area? You're not in Georgia, but you can't, you fish. I mean, they're kind of similar lakes with being herring or with shad or whatever. How do you think most big bags are caught?
Some of those big bags are being caught. I do off of green lights. Like you can pull up and catch a good largemouth off a green light, and that's what's crazy. Like where we fish, I'm not catching many spots off the green lights. It's mainly largemouth. The spots are like near, kind of like your hanger lights, the ones that's just right above the water. They're not green
Yeah.
lights, but just like a street light
Yep.
over the water. If you can find that, then mainly you catch spots. But in Georgia, I wouldn't know. I don't know if they like have green lights and stuff out that way, or if it's just mainly dark water. And dark water, I would say, given the temperature, and I'm sure it's hot out there too,
Oh
it's
yeah.
brush, deep brush piles. I mean, you can't go wrong with that.
Now, we got plenty of dock lights. I mean, we'll have the green lights. It depends on the lake you're on, is how many you got them. Lanier's got them. Altoona's got them. I know I fished Altoona green lights a few times. Wedowie's got them. Obviously, there's not as many houses on Wedowie as there are some of the lakes like Altoona and Lanier and things like that. But you got plenty of green lights you can cycle through. It's just figuring out where they're at, and they're spread out a little more.
Yeah, you got to do your
But
homework.
do what now?
I said you got to do your homework out there at night.
That's the thing, is going out there and figuring out where the green lights are at, and not just the ones you can see.
Yeah,
Not just the ones you can see. And then Alex says, define deep. LOL. What's deep brush for what's your fishing?
on Lake Greenwood, it's our max depth is probably 60 foot, and that's down by the dam. So I would say 20 foot, 20 to 30.
Yeah.
It's weird because this year I haven't really seen a thermocline on that lake. I thought I
Yeah.
saw it pop up earlier this year, but it kind of just disappeared. So
Right.
I don't know what's going on with the thermocline. But if y'all have a thermocline, watch the thermocline because those fish ain't gonna go below it. And if you got brush
Yeah.
out there, then there's really no point to fish it.
Right.
But
I mean, for me, I'm looking. I noticed Sunday the fish I was seeing was between 15 and 25 foot deep. And this is during the day. This is right early in the morning, overcast. They were moving up out of that, on the points and stuff, and they were moving about 15 to 25 foot deep back and forth to where that brush was at. They weren't hanging around the brush, but they were moving back and forth to it. You know, and I think if you're talking about night fishing for catching big bag of largemouth, I know the times that I've night fished on Wedowee or deeper lakes, I'm going shallow. I'm going shallow water a lot of times, just if they're feeding, if that's that first little bit of the nighttime, I guess I'd say.
yeah,
And
but
then
think like even all night, those fish are up there eating. Like I don't really catch them out deep at night.
Yeah.
Like I never caught them. It's 10, 0 to 10 foot. I'm gonna catch them
Right. Yeah.
because I fish a lot of green lights. So some green lights are in back of pockets, and you you could hold your rod tip down and touch the tip of the bottom. I mean, and it's two
You're
to
you
three foot. Like
yeah.
yeah. So I think they just pull up there and they eat, and then during the day they pull right back out and set up on the ledges and everything like that.
Right. Let's go real quick. Let's see right here. Alex comment. Me and my buddy do scouting trips on his boat, Tony. We don't go fish. We just go out and look for new lights, 100%. And that's something I don't do because I don't night fish enough. So when I night fished the one big tournament that she and I fished in, we were literally just cruising, looking because it was a 12-hour tournament. So we had all the time in the world to go look. I mean, we weren't short for time. So we just like, hey, let's go to this. We started out in a creek I knew fish during the daytime well. And then after that, we started going to where all the docks were at. And we just started driving, just looking for those lights. So yeah, absolutely do your scouting homework if you want to find the lights. Um, Fishing with Fowler, he said that he's from West Point. It's just crazy. I've seen multiple 25-pound bags in tournaments, all giant largemouth. Only thing I can figure is brush piles and koikies. LOL. So fishing with Fowler, were they nighttime tournaments or are they daytime tournaments? I'm thinking we're nighttime show. I figure with nighttime fishing. Um, you know, kind of like you said a minute ago, though. Man, I'm gonna call you Messick. That's just what I know you as. I'm gonna call you Messick.
Okay.
Unless you want me to call you Jonathan. Jonathan.
No, it's I'm coming.
Um, Knowing where the brush piles are at, because I mean that's just like your regular fishing. If you got brush piles marked and you can run it like a milk run, and there happen to
Yep.
be near green lights. So he said Fowler come back and says daytime tournaments. Man, daytime tournaments. I mean, that's $1 million question where they're coming up 25-pound bags on West Point. I mean, if you're talking about West Point Lake itself, now if you're talking about some of those other lakes, you get over in Alabama and stuff like that around that area. I mean, there's a bunch of guys that are telling me stuff about how they're catching them on like your Jordans and stuff like that. But it's a different, those are the spotted bass deals. But yeah, West Point, man, those those guys have got something figured out on West Point with 25-pound bags for sure. Yeah, and then he said, but a lot of the three bass nighttime tournaments taking close to 15. And I fish West Point from time to time. I am by no means a West Point expert. Guys like Coleman fish it a lot or used to fish it a lot. I think it's just kind of knowing that lake. Honestly, those guys got it figured out for sure. And I know that's kind of a crap question, crap answer to a good question, but man, West Point's it's a different creature for sure. Eric says thermocline was 27 foot on Wedowee this week, and I would agree with him. I was seeing it about 27 to 30 foot, depending on where I was at. All right. Fishing with Fowler. Here's a good answer to that question. 25-pound bag on West Point came out of a farm pond, and it's funny because he says that because the big cheater scandal that we had out there a couple of years back, that's what he was doing. He was going to catch them out of farm ponds somewhere, I guess, and bring them and put them in baskets out there on West Point and Wedowee. He got us on Wedowee for one tournament, so he was actually doing that. John G. Wilson, what's going on, brother? What's going on? And then Fishing with Fowler says they're dialed for sure. Man, I wish I had a better answer for West Point. To be honest, I fish it in the morning time. I ain't been on West Point in the night in probably 20 something years. And I know during the early morning, if I get out there really early in the morning on West Point, and I'm finding that brush that's close to banks, especially when it's at the last time I was there, it wasn't even at full pool yet. When it's at full pool, those brush piles that are close to docks and stuff, I had really good luck on top water there. But some of those guys are just dragging worms, and maybe they're throwing the koikis and stuff. But that's one lake I have not figured out to the point where I can tell you how to catch a 25-pound bag out there. I wish I could, but I'm not going to blow smoke for sure. I don't I don't want to do that. All right, we're gonna get in some more stuff with Messick here in a second. I'm just catching up on the questions. D Daddy Fishing, has anybody caught any bass on a koiki at night? Messick, have you caught them have you thrown a koiki?
I've thrown it. I'll get them to follow it every time, but I cannot get them to bite it at night. I don't know.
Now,
I feel like if you could ever figure it out at night, you'd have a competitive advantage. I
really?
got feeling, but I cannot get them to bite it at night. I throw
Now
a lot
how
of
are you
shit at night.
Shaky heads.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'll rig it with just the treble hook with a nail weight through it. But I've thrown every color that they make pretty much, and I can't get them to bite it at night.
I got you. I
So
got you. Um, so now, have you tried throwing it during the day, or do you do a lot of daytime fishing this
I
time?
can catch it during the day with it. I
Really?
mean, yeah, but at nighttime, and like I said, I fish a lot of lights, so you can see the fish swimming through the lights. You will not get them to bite it.
Really?
I have not got them to bite it. No, I've been trying and trying because, like I said, I feel like you can get a little bit of advantage if you can get one to bite because not a lot of people are doing it.
Now, are you changing up your color at night at all?
I've tried black and blue, the green pumpkin candy, every color,
Huh?
scuffernado, or however you say that word.
Stepping on,
I
yeah. So, I guess I know a color that works on Wadowee real good at night is a watermelon red on a shaky head, worm on a shaky head. I mean, I'm talking about just a trick worm. I hadn't even gone to the big size worms the last time I fished it, just a regular trick worm. But I'm just wondering if maybe there's a color because it don't make any sense. Because I've got a question here on TikTok, and I'll get to here in just a second because it kind of goes into what I'm talking about. But you know, you're thinking, okay, is it sound or vibration? That's the question he had. I'll go ahead and say it. Matt Bryson on TikTok. What's more important at night, sound or vibration? Well, if you're throwing a shaky head, obviously you got a little bit of sound when it hits the bottom or clicks off a rock, something like that. But there's not a lot of sound to it. Same thing with a koiki. There's no sound to it. I mean, but they bite a shaky head or they bite a Texas rig, which I guess has more clicking than the koiki, obviously. But how are you rigging your koiki when you're throwing it at night?
just the treble hook with a nail weight through it. I think a
Okay.
3/32 nail weight,
Okay.
but
Now, have you tried the trigger hook? Renault Tackles trigger hook. I don't have one up here with me, but
I haven't.
uh, so it's a hook and it's got this little cupped arm on the back of it. I obviously can't do it on the camera here; it looks stupid, but it's got a little cupped arm on the back, so it's got your weight still on the shank of the hook, and your koiki sits on top of it. So if you throw it, you can actually work it like a jig or a shaky head, so it's still got that ability to click on something. Maybe that might be a change worth
Might have
looking
to
into.
try it. That
And I
or a
have
shot.
Yeah, or drop shot. Now I have thrown that in some brush piles and stuff, and it really actually comes through stuff pretty well. You wouldn't think it would be an open hook like that, but it does come through pretty decent for me. Um, but anyway, we'll go back to Matt Bryson's question. What matters more to you at night, vibration or sound? And I know it's going to kind of get into how you fish at nighttime anyway.
I really don't know because my dad.
Uh-oh, we lost him. He'll be back shortly. He had it on airplane mode, so or yeah, had it on airplane mode. So he might have got a call or something. Something that might have bounced through. We'll get him back here in just a minute. We get a lot of guys talk on the show that maybe it's the vibration, the guys that the Colorado blades. And just for the show tonight, I turned my lights on my computer and my side lights on green for nighttime fishing. So, but they'll throw the Colorado blades. I know when I start off at night, I'll throw like a top water buzz bait, something I can get making a little bit of noise on the water. I like that sound on the water when I first start throwing it. But then I've caught a crap ton of fish dragging a worm, dragging a big worm, or dragging a lizard back in the day when I was fishing, farm ponds and whatnot. So I think you're doggone kind of six and one half dozen the other, if you ask me. Now, if you're trying to get some attention, obviously it's gonna be that way. We
All
got
right,
him back.
sorry, I got a phone call. That do not disturb didn't work, Tony.
Yeah, that's why I had told you what airplane mode.
Airplane mode, but I
But
can't
it cut
connect
your
it
Wi-Fi off.
to the
Yeah,
Wi-Fi. Yeah, so I
I don't
just
know
cut the cellular data off.
there you go. Maybe that'll keep him from calling in, I guess. My
Okay,
luck, it'll do Wi-Fi calling. So anyway, go back to the question: sound or vibration, which matters? Which do you think matters more? I kind of sort of answered my opinion when you're gone, and I'll go back over it. I think it's kind of six and one and a half does the other. I mean, you got guys that'll throw big Colorado blades to get that thump through the water, and they get bitten, and that's their confidence bait. But then you got guys like me that'll drag a worm or shaky head or a jig or something like that. So what do you think?
I really, I don't know because I really don't throw like a big Colorado blade or nothing at night. I don't. If I'm night fishing, pretty much, I'm just like I said, I'm running and gunning lights. But I don't. I'm throwing a silent crankbait. I don't know if that matters. So I mean, that kind of throws a whirl in everything.
Yeah, I mean that's even though it's silent, it's still moving water, making that vibration.
That's yeah. So I guess it
Yeah,
would be vibration.
I mean, it's we
That's the
watch
whole point.
the one thing forward facing sonar has done for us is it's answered a bunch of unknown questions. And I know we're not a forward facing, it's not a forward facing show. I'm not trying to start it that way, but I look at the fish like I'll throw behind a fish and I watch the fish literally turn on it. Now, whether it hears the splash in the water or it feels that worm jiggle by as it goes sinking past it, but dang near every time you can get a fish, a lot of times you can get a fish turn on it, throwing it past it or whatever. Um, and then you get those times where obviously there's no way the fish saw it coming or whatever, and he all of a sudden sees it, and then when he sees it, he attacks it, especially on your clear water lakes and stuff like that. So again, I go back to my answer. I think it's 6 and 1/2 does the other. Whatever you got confidence in will catch fish at night, just like it
Yeah.
does during the day. All right, Jeff Brazil. No green lights or anything on the water around here. We typically fish rocky banks and points. We caught all smallmouth Saturday night on a black half-ounce War Eagle spinnerbait with black nickel blades. So he's got a little bit different. He's got a little bit different situation than you got, and you mentioned it a couple of times. You're running green lights, but he's having to fish, you know, in the dark,
Yeah.
so to speak. Now, go into I said we were going to save it for a little bit. We've saved it for 26 minutes. How are you fishing your nighttime deals where you fish at? What are you doing? And is it a secret? If it's a secret, don't tell us. But if we want to know all we can.
No, it ain't no secret. I don't mind sharing. I enjoy it.
All
But
right.
all right, if I'm going to fish night tournament, first thing I do, you always got a daytime bite. You always. I'm going to go dock fishing with a shaky head. Shaky head with a green pumpkin zinco. You can't beat it. It
Okay.
works. Bread and butter. But and when it starts getting dark, I'm running and gunning green lights. I'll throw a crankbait on them, and I'll do what you were doing. Throw a shaky head around the outside of them, and just
Yeah.
try to generate a bite. And either
Yeah.
it's gonna happen or it's not on the green lights. I mean, it's a quick bite. You got 5 throws, and don't
Yeah.
hook one and let him get off because you might as well leave the whole light. They will not bite. I'm running them just like I would do if I was heron fishing. If you pull up on the spot, either those fish are there, or they're not. Leave and just hit. I don't know, 25 to 50 spots a night. Just you're constantly moving.
Shoot, if I hit 25 or 50 green lights, I'm on the same dock 15 times.
You gotta go. Like run and gun it.
We don't have that many green lights. It would cost me about a small fortune to drive the whole lake to find the 10 green lights that I could find probably. And I joke when I say that, but it'd take a good bit to find all of them like that.
I mean, I'm not just fishing green lights either. I'll fish like the hanger lights I talked about earlier.
Yep.
Or the
Yep.
street lights. If it lights up good, fish it. I mean,
Yeah.
I've won more tournaments just going with a gut feeling. I see a light in the back of a pocket, I pull up to it, you catch a 3-pounder. I mean, that's how it goes. It's so you gotta rock with your gut feeling.
You said something right there that makes a lot of sense to me, and it's something that I practice. And I don't think about it when I do it, but now that you're saying it, really makes me think about it. If I load the boat, or excuse me, launch the boat, and sometimes, especially during summer, I'm getting out there early. Like I don't want to be out there after daylight. I want to get out there an hour before if I can, because we Dowie pulls water an hour before daylight, basically. But anyway, if there's a street lamp there, I'm casting at it. I'm casting at that light on the water at
I
least
mean,
once.
you never know. And I've
Yeah,
caught some of the weirdest spots where light's not even really shining on the water. It's just a street light in
100%.
somebody's yard, deer's walking through it. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
it's so random, but you have to throw on that light for whatever reason. What the reason is the bait fish are up there. Like
yeah,
right, we got a lot of brim around our lights, and you'll see them around the docks. So I know
yeah,
the big bass are eating brim,
yeah.
and just try to get something that mimics that the best you can.
Yeah, I mean, I think Eric LaRue shared a post with me. He was showing what looked like a bass spawn on Lanier, and they were up there in those brim bed areas. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. I didn't get a chance to watch the video. He was just telling me about it today on the phone. But you're like you said, they're eating those brim, getting up in those areas makes a lot of sense to me. But yeah, I mean, if it's got a light on, and that's how I figured out some of these smaller lakes that I fish. Man, they get hammered during the day, and I'm like, I'm gonna go at night. This is back when I started back fishing. I go out there at night, and what do? I go to the first dock that's got a light on it. I'm talking about just a regular white lamp that's
Yeah,
shining on the water. you know.
Yeah. You don't need much. I mean, just
Yeah.
something to draw the bait fish up there.
I mean, and if it's the, if you think about it, like, and I know we're getting into how breaking it down kind of stuff, and we'll move on to something else here in a minute. But if you get into thinking about breaking water down, when we look at it, if you look at a stretch of a creek and you see one dock, what does everybody say? Always fish the odd thing in the creek, right? Whether it be
Mhm.
that big rock or the single dock and things like that. So if it's the only light in that creek, guess what? There's probably going to be fish around it, and there's
That's a good
potentially going
point.
to be.
I ain't never thought about it like that. That's a really good point. I've
I
never
mean,
thought about it like that.
it's the one thing that's different in the whole creek. So that's why I guess when I put in the boat or if I'm going down the lake and I see a dock that's the only dock with a light that's shining in the water from a street lamp or whatever, I'm like, it's something different. So I mean, hell, I could be way off on it, but that in my little mind.
It makes sense.
And now there's been plenty of times I've gone, well, damn, there wasn't no fish there. So it obviously wasn't the right thing to do, but it's what in my mind I thought I needed to do. So I go to it like that. Now let's go back to something else you talked about a minute ago. You and I talked a little bit before the show, and I had told you how we were catching them on dot lights in that one tournament we did. And I wish I had more nighttime tournament experience. I just haven't done a whole lot lately. But the light itself, and you brought up fishing, fishing like a herring spawn or fishing like a herring pattern where you pull up, you see them, you don't, whatever, leave. You see them fishing, but if you catch one, you better get them in the boat, so on and so forth. For me, the night we fished it, they wouldn't hit anything in the dock light. You could see the shadows going in and out. You couldn't get them to bite anything in the proximity of that light. But if you got 15, 20, 30 feet off that light or where the light stopped, it was almost like a light that they were sitting right in that shade line,
Yep.
basically. And they were killing it in the shade line, but they wouldn't bite anything in them green lights.
I always start the boat way out. You have to
Yeah.
start way out and just work and just ease yourself in there. You're trying to sneak up. As my daddy said, you're hunting them. He wants
Yeah.
to stick his boat up there and just let it drift up in there. If the wind's blowing, that's even better. It's going to push you perfect up in that light. Because
Right.
if you do it, you're going to blow them out. I mean,
Yeah.
those fish on those lights are the smartest fish because I don't know if y'all have tournaments like we have, but there's a tournament every week, it feels like, and 2 to 3 tournaments a week, and they're all running every light that they see. Guess what? Those fish are going to get educated. And
Yeah.
like I said, if you catch one and he gets off, I feel like he goes in there and tells his buddies about it. I mean,
He's letting them all know.
don't bite it. Don't bite it because
Well, I mean, it might be like I mean, I guess it is. It's like a brush pile at that point. If you pull a fish off a brush pile and his 15 buddies come with him, you know what I'm saying? And then he gets off and he hightails it out of there. If they're following him anyway, they just follow along with him until they reset back up. Now, you said ease the boat in there. How fast are you running your trolling motor? Because I'm guilty during the day. That joker's on 9. You can ask Eric. You can ask anybody to fish with me. I run it on breakneck speed all day long during the day. Nighttime, you're cruising down there. You're keeping it slow moving.
yeah, you just ease it up in there. Now, this is also saying if I got them in a tournament or not. If I ain't got them, but it be on 100 and we rolling.
You're rolling through there quick, huh?
But the
Rolling
first
through there
couple of
quick.
hours, I try to ease my way in there. But like I
Yeah,
said, you don't if you know that light's got a brush pile on it, stay off of it. Fish the actual brush pile, then work your way into the light. But it, if you run up in that light, I swear it's like they all scatter. You
yeah,
scoop them. And these other lakes that I've been fishing, like Murray and Hartwell, they have a lot of striper in the lights. And those are the
yep,
dumbest fish I've ever seen in my life because you can run right through them and they will not swim away. But that
yeah,
largemouth, he's gonna go. He'll dart off. And I've I've never really caught one. If you get up there, let's say you get hung on a dock and you go get your stuff. I've never caught one off that light in that little like that time that you catch them. You have to let it rest, and I'd say 2 hours.
wow,
I mean, and then sometimes you can go back and it's like they know.
yeah.
I don't know if they can feel the trolling motor. I don't know if they can hear it. I, I don't know.
So you guys have obviously got a crap ton of dot lights up there. I mean, of different kinds where you're fishing at. I mean, there's a
Yeah,
bunch of like because my and again in my head, I go back to my deer hunting days. I'm like, if I don't catch them here, somebody else is going to catch them here. So when I leave a dot light or a dot or wherever I'm fishing anyway during the day, I'm like, well, there's probably 6 other guys just came in here behind me and done the same thing. So I don't even think about cycling. There's times I will cycle back through, but like
that's what
you got to,
blows my mind with the heron spawn, like on these heron lakes. I don't understand why those fish set up the way they do when they're getting flukes thrown at them all day long, and you can still pull up to a point and catch one off of it. I don't know if that's timing or what, but that throws me for a whirl when it
Well,
comes to that.
I'm gonna say this from a fat boy standpoint. There's times where I'm eating and I don't even need to be eating no more, but I'm still gonna eat. And if you bring me an ice cream in the middle of that, I'm like, damn, I want ice cream too. So I'm just gonna say. So I guess it's just they're just eating.
Hungry.
I mean, let's face it. What else are they gonna do? Right? They're gonna eat. I mean, they're
Yeah.
gonna eat. That's all I can attribute to because you're 100% right. I mean, you get a school of fish and you catch one with a set of treble hooks, you throw them back over the boat and you throw in there and catch another one. It's like, guys, I mean, you just saw your buddy go visit Jesus. I mean, he just left the water.
It's the whole process of it. You got boats running up on these points, and then they'll do it all day. Like you can just sit on one
Yeah.
point, watch how many boats run up and hit it.
And there's no telling how many
catch
fish
fish
cycle
off
through
of
there.
it.
There's no telling how many fish cycle through there too, though. You know what I'm saying? That's the restaurant, and it's a highway running right by it. They're just they're different groups of fish, things like that happen for sure. Fishing with Fowler said he's running up to this weekend. Should be fun, man. It's gonna be fun, but if it's gonna be nice, like I think it's gonna be, I think we're all gonna get rocked out of the dang lakes because I'm going to Lanier Saturday with Fishers of Hope doing the tournament for John Wilson. If y'all can, make sure you stop by, enter the tournament, donate to the tournament. It goes to one of the guys that always watches the show. Super good dude. I'm nervous. I'm not usually nervous for tournaments because I'm just donating anyway. But this time I got the man on the boat with me. John's gonna be on the boat, so he's like, "What do I need to bring?" I'm like, well, we're going to start doing this and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And hopefully it pays off. Hopefully we can put them on some fish. So y'all pray for us on that one because I don't get to fish Lanier quite as much as I want to, but I depend on the show for all the good Lanier tips and tricks. So, and then Fowler, we're going back to the Corky thing. He says he rigs it with a frog hook. Frog hook is the way for sure. Hookup went up exponentially. Yes, frog hook is a good hookup ratio for sure. I think people are having a hard time finding frog hooks, I guess, from what I heard. That was the one thing they weren't giving away at ICAST. I can guarantee you that. They were holding on to them frog hooks pretty good. To me, the trigger hook's done real well. Again, I know I keep saying that. I guess because it feels like a jig. It sets the quickie off the back of the hook. You're not fighting with the bait. You're not fighting with the fish getting a mouthful of the bait and the hook. You know what I'm saying? So it's done good. And for some reason, treble hooks catch everything in the boat but the fish. So I hadn't done the treble hook thing yet. All right, so here's somebody else that says the same thing. I have replaced my shaky head with a Koiki, and I have not even gotten a bite. D-Daddy fishing. So he hadn't even got a bite with a Koiki changing over. So, and I don't know if he means daytime, nighttime, whatever, but I told somebody else I hadn't tried one. I said, I'll be honest with you, to me, it's a jig. I fish it like a jig. I'm finding brush piles and throwing it at it, working it over top of them, around it, and that's how I've had any of my success with Koiki. And I'm by no means an expert with it at all. I've only thrown it maybe about 3 different trips I've been on.
I've noticed throwing the Koiki though, when you get a fish that's going to eat it, he's going to engulf it. I mean, he don't play with it.
Yeah, 100%.
He smacks it.
I've been blessed. I've caught some good largemouth with it. I think I've caught one spotted bass with it, and it was a small one, but I fished it on the edge of a dock, and it flew out from under it and hit it. And it was like that Koiki was bigger than he was, I think. And Fishing with Fowler says colors work the same. He likes to scupper it on for stained water for sure. And then Eric says that trigger hook's sweet. Yep, absolutely.
I'm gonna have to check this out.
Dude, I'm telling you, and I'll tell everybody out here watching the show. I don't know if I've said it on the show before. I've told a few buddies. So the trigger hook, you can buy it in a couple different sizes, weights, whatever. They used to offer it with a painted head, green pumpkin paint. It was like a shimmery green pumpkin color. Don't buy the green pumpkin color painted. I can't remember if it costs extra or not. It ain't worth it. About the first 10 casts, the green pumpkin paint's chipped off, and you're back to a silver head anyway. So save your money. But I know Renault had postponed. They had put off painting any of the hooks because I guess the demand had outran their ability to keep up. So they quit painting them. Well, they ought to quit painting them anyway. Great hook, terrible paint job. So I'll just leave it at that. And then and we're back to when you fell off the show. I was gonna have to start telling jokes. And then iJourney ENT, hello rich people. You don't know me very well. Rich people, I don't think so.
We fish being rich by no means.
No, if we thought about, I've burned through several retirements in my life. That's for sure. On stupid crap, hunting, fishing being two of them for sure. Um, all right, Alex Purrs says shallow water adjacent to deep water, Colorado blade 3/4 ounce, shaky head jig. Throw that baby up on the shore and bounce it in the water and hang on. I,
See, that's a bite I have not got on is that Colorado blade spinnerbait
yeah,
at night. I can catch them with a chatterbait at night, but the spinnerbait game, I can't figure it out on the lake I fish. It's
yeah.
just non-existent. It feels like.
Now, do you do a spinnerbait? Do you throw a spinnerbait a lot during the day and have luck with it?
Yes, you
So
can catch
you,
them. So you these storms rolling through every evening. Oh, it's
yeah,
perfect prime
yeah.
time.
And see, and everybody will know that I don't throw a spinnerbait a ton. I've gotten a lot where I use a little bit more, but I'm not a super huge spinnerbait guy. So for me, the nighttime spinnerbait, I would throw it, but I don't throw it a lot. So, um, but Alex has got it. He's got it dialed in. Kevin Thornton dialed in. They throw that Colorado blade a ton, and I mean, and you know, we were at the GOM blast the other day, and the guy he started out with chatterbait of all things, and you know, basically it's a search tool. It's a great search tool. I mean, if it's making that thump, you know, you get searching and you get maybe calling some fish to you, kind of thing too. So, um, and then Alex says he does all three. I don't know what we're talking about there because I'm behind in the comments a little bit. And then Alex Purse says, "Damn those lights in the summertime." LOL. So, D Daddy fishing vibration and sound. I fish mostly crankbaits and I'm bouncing off everything I can around lights. I think that makes sense to me. I mean, that other than it being dark outside, I mean, there's some other stuff that I think changes, obviously, but I mean, it makes sense. Bounce that crankbait. If I'm throwing a jerkbait, I'm bouncing the jerkbait off stuff. That's how I do it anyway. So it makes sense. Alex got a question for you though. Are you scoping at nighttime, Messick?
Nope.
You turn your graphs off.
Yeah, you can cut it off, but you don't need it. I'm telling you, the green light deal. If I'm looking at live scope, I'm being distracted, and that's just
Really?
straight up. I'll stay too long on it. I can cut it
Okay.
off, and so like I said, 5 casts, roll to the next one. It's so easy.
So
I mean,
not even to line up a cast or anything like that. You're just going all
now
out.
there's structure on it. I mean, yeah, take the time and like look, scope around, but no, I primarily at night. I'm not scoping.
Okay.
I those lights. I don't know how deep they are. Like I don't. I really don't even need no graph. If
Right.
if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen quick.
So you're going kind of back old school. You're using
I'm
that light as
fishing.
you're just
Yeah.
fishing, using that light as your marker, and then figuring it out from there. Now you
Yep.
said you start way off the light anyway, so you're breaking it down to the light. You're starting and then working your way in. So all right, you're going night fishing tonight. We're just going to use an example. You're going night fishing tonight. What's tied on the deck of your boat, and what are you starting with? You pull up to your first green light. What are you starting on? What are you starting with?
Gonna throw a crankbait right off the rip because he's either gonna he'll bite it in the first 3 throws if he's there. If you see
All
them
right.
fish coming through that light, throw a crankbait.
Okay. What
And
now?
that's
What color?
shad.
Shad color. So you're going just same thing you're throwing during the day.
Yeah, I don't believe in all the black matters and stuff because, like you said, you catch them on a green pumpkin worm. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
that really opened my eyes because my dad, he's an old school fisherman. I'm talking about he's gonna keep it as simple as he can.
Yeah.
But
So, all right.
yeah,
So
like
you go up
Alex
there.
said,
Go ahead.
underspin works good too. It
Okay.
really does, and you can just throw it, wind it back, and but make it quick. That's the main thing. Like that's you have to hit the lights quick. There's no reason to beat it to death. I
All right.
mean,
So that you just answered a question and brought up a good point. So you're starting out. You're throwing it. You're burning that crankbait through there.
yeah.
So it's 100. You're
If they won't hit it burning, slow it down a little bit. And I mean, when I say slow, like creep it, just
yeah.
where you can feel it, just kind of wobble a little bit, just like
Right.
that, and then they'll do the rest. They'll load up on it.
Now, are you still grinding it? Are you grinding on the bottom as you're doing that? Or you wanting it to swim through the middle?
Throwing like a DT4 or DT6, it's deeper lights, but hey,
So
it's not hitting the bottom.
So okay, so you're throwing it. You're basically throwing it like a swim bait. You're
Hmm.
throwing a crankbait through there. You're not trying to grind the bottom or hit off structure. You're just trying to run it through the area.
Just like a little shad trying to come through the light. And
Okay.
if you can't get them to hit it like that, and you see those fish sitting way up high on the green light, hold your rod tip up, get that crankbait almost like a weight bait, and you'll see them. You'll see them when they turn on it. When they turn
Okay.
and start going, they're going to hit it. Just keep the speed. You don't want to. You remember your first time on live scope when you throw
Oh
it
yeah.
a minute,
Stop
2
it.
minutes? Yeah, you stop it or something.
Yeah.
Keep the same speed you're reeling, and they'll do the
Yeah.
rest.
Yeah.
And
I
the
learned the hard.
other thump. I mean, that's all you're gonna get. They go when they hit it. You got them. you
I
got.
learned. I learned the hard way about the stopping. I went with Kevin Underwood on Lanier, and I was used to that stopping and whatever because man, he about hit me in the back of the head 3 times. Quit stopping, keep cranking faster. I couldn't crank the handle fast enough for Kevin. I don't think, and I've told him that before. It was pretty funny. Um, so all right, crankbait doesn't work, or the crankbait does work because you kind of said something to start off with. You're like, look, go up there if they're set up, catch them, but you're not using live scope, but you're pulling up to your dot light. How many casts are you really giving it with that crankbait? And then are you changing or are you leaving? I mean, like what tells you got to leave?
Okay. To be honest with you, white. This is how I break down my lights. If it's a green light, I'm gonna throw a crankbait, a shaky head, and a drop shot in it. But where we fish, there's certain lights where you pull up and you know to throw a crankbait. There's certain lights that's like green lights up under docks. You can't throw a crankbait. You can't skip it up under there. That's where
Right.
you had your drop shot come in, and the underspin. You you got to get something where you can skip up under there because you'll see the fish. I mean, the fish will they'll be swimming all in the light.
Yeah.
But I don't. With a crankbait,
That makes
no
sense.
more, no more than 5 throws. I mean, you have to
Yeah.
hit them. Go,
Well,
and then
that makes sense though.
yeah, you just got to fish the outskirts with something drop shot, shaky head, something like that.
So
And
what
I
if go ahead.
no, what were you about to say?
I
You
was gonna
good?
say, so if you pull up to a dot light, realistically, how long are you giving it? Because I'm bad about I'll camp on a spot if I think I can get bit, especially if I start seeing shadows swimming around. By gosh, I'm gonna catch every one of them. How long are you honestly gonna give it?
Honestly, 5 to 8 minutes. Like
Okay.
it's not a long process at all.
So you're burning that crankbait through there 3, 4, 5 times, then you're gonna start hitting the edges with your shaky heads,
Yep.
drop shots, stuff like that. You're just breaking down that spot, and then you
Just
know,
roll. But
all right,
a lot of times those fish are going to hit it though the first 3 throws with that
yeah,
crank. I mean, he's going to load up on it. Uh,
okay,
it is fast.
all right. That makes perfect sense. I think that answers my question a little bit because again, I've spent an hour sitting on a green light thinking I was gonna catch everything there and catch 2 fish. So
See, like a hanger white or like the whites that's close to the water that's not green lights.
yep,
That's where I mainly throw. I won't throw a crankbait in it. I'll pick up a shaky head. I'll throw a drop shot around those. I
yeah,
just I do better with something beating the bottom than something coming up over the top of them.
right.
But bites for whatever reason those shatter up high and they'll swirl. You see the shatter in it,
Oh yeah.
and those fish
Now,
are right underneath them.
have you noticed have you noticed anything with the different color lights? So I mean, we talked about your white lights bright, shining down. The green light shine. Green light seems to be the magic thing or whatever. What about the folks that got their red, white, and blue lights or their purple lights or stuff like? Have you ever noticed anything that those pay off or don't pay off?
I really don't fish them. I don't feel like they shine enough light. Now I have one red light, and it's like the LED strips around the dock.
Yep,
I have caught fish around it, but it's not a every time thing. It's
I
not
got you.
consistent. I'm not going to waste time doing that. I'd
So
rather find. I want the brightest light that I can find.
you're cutting those lights right off the bat. Then
Yeah,
that
I
makes
ain't going.
sense. Because I've had the same experience. I've fished green lights in the same tournament and then go up and fish blue lights and not have any luck and then get, away from those blue lights and start catching fish again. It's just, I didn't know if you ever had any experience with that. Maybe if it throws off, because fish see certain colors, they say, I didn't know if that light may throw that off where they can't see those silhouettes or feel that. I don't know.
I
Just
want to
throwing that.
know if, like, on your big worms and stuff, especially plum apple. Uh, what else am I thinking? You know how it's got those flakes in it.
Yeah.
I wonder if you start throwing those when it goes down and those lights, can those fish see that flake if it moves a certain way? Because I've noticed fishing at night, and my dad has too. They'll hit a June bug one night, then they'll hit a black grape the other night, and they won't touch a June bug, or vice versa. It don't make sense to me. I don't know if for whatever reason it's pretty to them or what.
Listen, if you ask me, if we get into the like watermelon red seems to be a really good color at night on Wedowee, the times that I fish it at night, like that to me is this spectrum over here. But you start getting into the black and blues versus the June bug versus the black grape
Mhm.
at night, I'm like, that fish can't know the difference between those three dark colors at night. Not
It's
enough.
insane.
Now, if you're throwing it right in the green light, I guess the different flake size or the sparkle or whatever you want to call it, I could see that maybe making a difference if you got a June bug versus a black and blue. I could see that maybe that shine maybe, but I just don't. I, I'm I'm still. I think we're overthinking the fish at that point, but you
Yeah.
you just gotta. I guess you just gotta. If you know it, I guess if you've been that on that lake enough times, okay, well they didn't bite the June bug at that light. Let's try the black grape or whatever we're going to throw in there. Maybe who knows, man? Yeah, that's probably $1 million question. If we could ever figure that out, we'd be super rich for sure. Maybe we need one of those. What was that Bill Dance color selector they used to have back in the day? We could figure out what color they're going to bite in the
Check
water
the
today.
night.
I
Check out.
guess for nighttime. Um, Jeff Brazil says he usually catch more on a spinnerbait than anything. Number 5 or number 6 Colorado blade. But I think that goes back into what the difference in lights though, or not difference in lights, difference in how it's being fished. Where he's fishing more, rocky banks and things. Those fish might be. What I'm trying to say is the dock light fish can see, I think, a little
Mhm.
better. Or those bank fish or those point fish, they're out there just they're hoping something comes swimming by there. They're using all their senses, I guess, and that may be why the fish on the docks are a lot smarter because they can see more. That all their sensors are there. Their vision, their lateral line, their whatever is all there together. I would assume. Um, and then Jeremy Contright says, "See, I don't have lakes with docks with lights. The only place that has lights is the boat ramp." And again, that's why I always, if I put it in dark, I'm fishing that light around the boat ramp because I feel like it is at least something different. It may not be worth a dang, I don't know. And obviously, that's where they put the fish back in after a tournament. So there's usually those stragglers still hanging around. At least that's the way I look at it anyway. Um, and Per says, "Don't talk about that video too much. It's our favorite guy." Oh, Alex, I did not know that. Eric just shared the video. That explains it. That's why when I clicked the link, the video didn't show up in my feed. It just took me to the page because I've been blocked by that guy. So that's why I didn't know who made the video. Sorry, Messick, this is an inside thing.
No,
A couple of
I put two and two together. I figured
yeah,
it out. I got you.
yeah, yeah. So that's why when Eric called me today, did you see the video? I was like, no, I clicked the link and it took me to the page, but it didn't show me the video. That's why I can't see his stuff. So I've been blocked. So all right, cool. Uh, and then Eric says, lights are honestly the easiest pattern to run. Yes, I would agree. And that's gonna bring me to my next question. This is gonna be the one that may or may not. And I asked Messick this question before the show started because I didn't want it to. I don't want it to. Didn't want it to hurt, make it personal or hurt feelings or anything. But I had a buddy of mine that we fished the tournaments together, daytime tournaments, and we would have about the same weight wherever we fished. He fished a lot longer than I had at this point. Go to nighttime, and he's called me, man. We had 3 6-pounders and da 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 da. And I finally told him one day. I said, fishing at night makes you think you're a better fisherman than you are. And I said that kind of to put him in his place a little bit, but then I started thinking about it, and I'm going to ask you again: do you think that theory holds water? That fishing at nights makes you a better fisherman than you? Maybe not a better fisherman, makes you think you're a better fisherman than you really are.
I think it does. I really do because, like that question, you got target specific areas that you can run and gun. You're not out here in the daytime searching for them. Like those fish could be on any brush pile anywhere on the lake in the daytime. At nighttime, it run lines. Just it's so simple. So yeah, I mean it's you can't mess it up. I mean you can if you throw the right thing on them, you're going to catch them off the lights. Like
Yeah,
all the guys that I fish with, they're not on the lights. I'm like, guys, I've I've been catching them off the whites. I promise they're still there. You just got to throw different things out. You got to do your homework. You
Yeah.
just got to do your homework.
So I was going to ask you that, and you kind of just answered that question. What makes you different than all the guys that you fish with? And you just answered it. So you're telling me that you like nobody's figured out that you're running dock lights? You know what
No,
I'm saying?
they do it, but I guess they're throwing different stuff. Like I guess a lot of the guys are dragging worms. I really don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, they're good,
Yeah.
but
They just do it their own way.
yeah. And like I might go out there and catch a big bag or a little bag of them. I never know.
Yeah.
My main thing is trying to catch three keepers. Catch a limit before it gets dark. That way
Yeah.
you got no stress. You can just run your lights and cold and
Yeah.
just roll with the punches.
Right. Now, I mean, I guess I had a question. I completely lost my question because you were talking. I was like, man, that's a good point, and I'll get to it here in a minute. But oh, I know what it was going to be. And this this may or may not be the answer, but do you think they get comfortable with sitting in a spot because it's safer? You know what I'm saying? Like, running the lake. Some people, my wife did not like me running that lake at 30 miles an hour, even though we were only doing 30. She's like, this is scary as hell. I don't want to do this no more. And I mean, but I'm like, well, I don't know where stuff's out on this lake, so I got to go find it at night. Do you think they're just they find a creek and they're like, we're going to fish this creek all night long. And we're going to catch what we catch.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah. A lot
So
of them.
Messick's calling him scared. I'm just joking. He's not calling him
I'm calling
scared.
my daddy scared. I'll call him out right now. He's scared. He'll sit
Oh
in
no.
3 hours.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know what he's
And,
doing.
and that may not be it, but maybe they've caught fish there during the day and they're like, they got to be here. I'm gonna sit in this creek. They're gonna come here sometime during this tournament at night, and they're just fishing it and it's the safest spot to be for them. So
Yeah, I understand that too, but still, you gotta branch out and move around. You have to.
yeah,
You can't just catch them in one little area. Like you at least gotta. I don't know. I don't know how many miles you should run because, like I said, I'm up one end of the lake to the other, just
I
running
mean
around.
that night we fished those night that she and I fished. We was every bit of 20 miles one way. I'm sure because we went all the way back in the very back of creeks and come back out and down to the south end, down to up the north end. So I mean, it wasn't probably 20 miles total. I mean, for the whole night, but we went in places I shouldn't have been. I can tell you that right now because I'm looking at the map going, oh, that looks shallow. Let me run my boat across it. That was dumb. It was shallow, like 4 foot deep with timber. I'm like, that's dumb. But, you know, there. All right. Somebody's gonna flip the switch tonight. I'm gonna put it on. I'm gonna put you in a stressful situation. You're going night fishing tonight, and somebody's gonna turn the switch off. There's no dock lights tonight. What are you doing different? Are you going back to those same
That's
docks that you know
what
about?
I'm honestly probably gonna go fish around the bridges.
Really?
I only think those fish are around those lights because that light zone. I'm a firm believer in that. Whatever, because it's a center for the bait fish to go. They're
Yeah.
eating. They're actively eating when they're on those lights. If you're a bait fish and you mess up and you swim up under there where that fish is, you're gone.
Oh,
You're going.
you've been in. It's over. Well,
But
so you're gonna go to the bridges at that point.
I'm gonna go to the bridges. I'm gonna fish around the bridges at first. I mean, bridges always hold fish.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna start running brush piles on there.
Okay.
You can. The only reason I say it because my daddy looks up and catches them off brush, and I know it works. But I
Okay.
might throw a drop shot to try to. I got confidence in a drop shot at night. I've just now picked it up. I watched that show that Danny had on, and they were talking about drop shot. I was like, I've never really thrown one, so let me pick it up and try it, and it works. The drop shot works at night,
Right.
and you can be
Yeah.
in the dark and catch them.
Yeah.
And so that I think that's how those boys catch them on Clark's Hill. If I ain't mistaken, I heard a podcast where they were talking about it and catching big ones on the points at Clark's Hill with a
Yeah.
drop.
Well, I know we had was it Ashley Klaus on, and she was talking about drop shotting out there, if I'm not mistaken. Talking about drop shot being big out there. So you're probably right. So bridges, then brush piles. I mean, that's I'd have to go back to fishing the way I know to fish during the day. I guess I'd go hit humps and brush piles and things that I know that where fish should be kind of living at. I guess. But
See, we just got a lot of docks on our lake. Like it's an
yeah,
11,000 acre lake with docks from one end to the other end.
Yeah.
There are
Well,
tons of them.
well, and that's the thing is when you get that many docks, how do you break down the dock pattern? Because there's got to be something to be different, right? For them fish to be there. Like you said, the light's on. That's why they're there at the light. But if the light's not on, there's a power outage and no more lights on. What what pattern? Because if you got 1,000 docks to fish, that's a lot of docks. Or
It's a lot
if
of docks.
you got 200 docks to fish, that's a lot.
What I'm saying, just try to break down the brush piles. Try to hit the brush piles because those fish are going to be in them.
Now, are
If they're
your
shallow,
docks? Yeah, are your docks floating docks or are they pole docks?
pole docks and floating docks. We got
So you
both
got
of
to
them.
mix. You got to mix
But we
both.
got
Now,
a lot more pole docks. Now I tell you, it's some weird stuff. But in the springtime, they'll use those floating docks more than they'll use those pole docks.
I agree.
So because I guess the heat's around the floats.
I think it heats the floats up and it heats the water up faster and so on and so forth, 100%. But then after spring gets over with, it's like the pole docks start holding fish. So we don't have many pole docks on Wedowee at all. So we don't get that. You might have one in each creek, and that's about it. And it's because it was there 40 years ago or whenever it was impounded.
Now, what's fun about the floating docks and the green lights, especially if you got one under it, throw it across. Throw your swim bait or a crankbait across the dock and get on one side of it. Now, I know this sounds weird, but throw it across at an angle and hold your rod tip underneath that floating dock.
Yeah.
And let the crankbait come underneath that floating dock and y'all just hold on.
He said, just hold on.
Because
Just
it's
hold
going to
on.
happen.
Makes sense. We're going to hit some of these comments because we're kind of behind in the comments real quick. We've already gone an hour. I didn't realize we've been an hour already. That went quick. Tony, you're absolutely correct, or definitely correct about the one light in a cove or a creek. It just, again, I didn't even know if I was right. It just made sense in my little head. And then Eric says, Tony runs that trolling motor on kill all the time. Don't point that thing dead left and hit the button. You're going to go swimming. And that's 100% right. Listen, and I know that's not what the show's about, but I went fishing with Kevin Underwood. I know it's Lanier, and Lanier's different than the Wedowee by a million miles on some things. But I remember asking a question to Robert G. I wasn't in the shop for the podcast, but I was watching from home. And I asked him, I said, and I've got a Lowrance Ghost on mine. I'm asking him, man, how are you keeping up with these fish? And he goes, get a faster trolling motor. I'm like, I got the fastest trolling motor. I can't get any faster. I mean, they don't make one faster than that right now. And so I started practicing leaving it on 9 or max, whatever it is, all day long. And he's right. Don't turn it left because I'm hitting that button on 9. It's going to sling us both out the front of the boat. So, yeah, I mean, it's just something I got in the habit of doing. Now, if I get in the back of a creek pocket or something, or a creek pocket, get in the back of a pocket or something, I'll turn it down halfway because I don't want to blow the water out. But, yeah, I'm on 9 all day, every day.
That's how I am in the daytime. Like, I'm running and gunning. That Minnesota Ultrex Quest and my 16.5-foot boat. It's a 52-inch shaft. So I got.
You're digging.
Yeah.
You're digging.
I can run right at 4.5 miles an hour with just a trolling motor. I put off a weight. It's insane what these new trolling motors are doing.
I think I got mine. Is yours 36 volt?
Yeah.
So I'm only running the 24 volt right now on mine. I've only got 2 batteries. So I'm running about 3.2. That was, now that it's got more tackle in it than it needs, I'm probably running about 3, but still it's pretty quick on a 18-foot bass boat on a trolling motor for sure. Alex says the striper really only come to light when it's cooler. So the striper only on the lights when it's cooler at Lanier. So
I tell you, y'all want to have fun with those striper in the wintertime months, go throw an Alabama rig through one of those green lights and just those striper are stupid.
Them damn striper though, man, they'll destroy good tackle. That's the problem.
Quick.
You catch one on Alabama rig, come back with a doggone paper clip. Joker's been all different kind of ways.
But that's like a Murray. All of those green lights down there got gar on them. And that's the thing. You see gar on a light, leave.
Yeah.
Because you're just going to waste your time throwing in it. They're going to eat anything that they can.
All right. I'm going to get on a little soapbox here now that you brought the gar up. So we were down at ICAST, and I decided to go on a little guided trip with a guy. And I won't name his name. I'm not going to blast him or nothing like that. But we fished 2 spots. We only fished for a couple of hours because it's Orlando and it's hot, right? We fished for a couple of hours, and we started catching gar. And I'm like, come on, let's go somewhere else. This damn gar killing us over here. We caught 3 gar. We caught 7 fish total, and 3 of them were gar. Let's put it that way. So, yeah. check who you're going on a guide trip with, and I'll leave it at that. Not everything everybody posts on social media is the best. And he's a great guy. And he guides well. Don't get me wrong, but it was just he told us up front, like, look, this is not the best time of the year to be out here trying to catch a lunker. I get it, but I'm like, man, these damn gar are killing us out here. You could watch the bluegill out there eating more than you could the bass. So anyway, all right. And I'm sitting there looking at all the grass. I didn't bring my tackle with me, so we had his stuff. We're throwing live bait, whatever. And I'm over there looking at all this grass, going, man, I wish I had my frog rod. I'd be throwing a frog right now. I'd hit the perimeter of this whole lake with a damn frog rod. Did get to see an alligator swimming across, so that was pretty fun. But anyway, all right, that's my soapbox. 2-pounder is still food for 40-inch striper. So yeah, Jeremy talking about 2-pounder is still food for a 40-inch striper. That's 100% right. And then John G. Wilson, I skip a worm under docks also that are lit up. Just don't hit one of them lights that has a fan built into it. It'll spool your reel. See, I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about the thing ones with lights in it. You get over to Gunnersville, they got the dang docks with the doggone big blower motors on the end of them that are blowing that grass back out of there, big fan motors that are blowing grass there. I thought, I bet that's fun when those things are kicked on. And then John said he's just gonna be happy to fish with me. Well, John, I appreciate that, but I'm gonna do everything I can to put you on some fish when we're up there at Lanier. That's my goal. Make that drive work.
He catches them big ones all the time. He's always purchased some fish.
See, I need to go. I want to get John on a boat on the river, because I am not the best river fisherman. Like I'm getting better at it, but like I want to get on a boat with a river fisherman. Somebody show me how to fish a river system really well, like how to break it down really good.
I would like that, but I suck on the rivers. Like you go up Hartwell and stuff, up those rivers. If it ain't got current where I can see the boat getting pushed back down, I'm terrible at a river. I'm better over there in 100 foot of water than a river.
Right. Well, that's what, the gentleman fishing with Fowler asked about catching them on West Point 25-pound bags. And I know from the Wedowee stuff and some of the river guys I'm seeing, they're going up the rivers. They're finding the cooler water up the rivers. They're several degree different temperatures. They're finding the current breaks. They just know how to fish it. And one thing is being confident to go up the river. That's one thing for me. Because I don't know.
Shallow up that way?
Well, it depends on where you go. Like you get on West, we'll use West Point, for example. There's certain points you get to it and it gets silted in so bad till you might know it one year and the next year it might be totally different. So unless you're out there all the time, and then of course you got the guys in the metal boats, they don't give a rip. They'll take it up and
they'll run it,
put it wherever. The guy that I fished the Toys for Tots tournament with, he got that brand new Blazer and decided to take it up in low water up West Point and got it beached on a sandbar and was catching. He said he caught 90 fish in one spot because the fish were trapped in this area. They couldn't get back over the sand. He said they just over top of the sandbar catching fish out of it. He said he's caught fish until they got tired of catching them. But then, like I said, he beached his boat because he didn't know the sandbar had moved or whatever. So that's where I'll just be honest. That's where mine's at. It's confidence to run up the river. So that's for me for sure. Tim Gossett, 2150. What's up, cuz? Good to see you on TV. You put a lot on the water and you deserve the time you're getting tonight. Well, he does. He definitely puts the time in. So
we fish it as much as we can.
Yeah.
That's the only way to get better though. Like that's the only way. You have to do your homework out there. It's not a game sport. This ain't nobody gonna do it for you.
Yeah.
You got to sacrifice.
Now, what days are your tournaments that you fish at night? Is it?
We fish Friday night, and then in this other club we fish on Saturday night.
Okay, so you're getting the weekend nights in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard for me to fish during the week. We have a Wednesday nighter, but it's so hard for me to fish out there because my work schedule. I might be running concrete at 12 a.m. in the middle of the night.
So
I never know my schedule.
You do concrete for a living?
Yeah, I'm a heavy equipment operator. I run the loader.
Okay.
So it's you got to be cut out for it.
Yeah, for sure.
You got to be there.
We don't need you fishing a night tournament and messing up on a loader the next day. That's for sure.
No.
It ain't worth it. It ain't worth all that. But I mean, it just. I guess that's why I don't fish a lot of the night tournaments, because they're always on a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night or a Thursday night. Every once in a while you have a Friday night tournament, but most of the ones around here are going to be those Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday deals. Years ago, before I bought a boat, I fished with my buddy. We fished the Tuesday nighters up at Altoona. They were fun. for the last half of the tournament. The first half sucked because all the wake boats and the jet skis or lake lights, however you want to call them, they're out there on the water. But once it got dark, it was fun. But before then, man, it was terrible, terrible. All right, let's see. Jeremy Conkright says I have zero plans on buying using a fuzzy nut. LOL. Hey, if they'll bite it, I'll throw it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, if they bite it, I'll throw it. And then Eric said he throws a spinnerbait enough for both of those. Yeah, I mean, like yesterday, I should have thrown a spinnerbait. I just didn't. I wasn't seeing stuff set up for spinnerbait that I thought. I didn't hit enough spots for that. Jeremy also says he uses the same spinnerbait at day or night, and honestly fish it the same way and get bites. I don't see anything to argue with that. I think you're 100%. I mean, I think I would agree with that coming from somebody that don't throw a lot of spinnerbaits. I mean,
Just your confidence bait. If you got confidence in a bait, you'd be amazed what you can do with it.
Absolutely. NC Bass Puller, I've had good luck yo-yoing a lipless crankbait on green lights. Now, see, I think that's something
that working,
100%.
And then something different too.
Yeah, and I'll go back to what his next comment. Catch a lot of hybrids too, though. So, my first introduction to green light fishing on Altoona, that's what we were going out targeting with the lipless was dang hybrids. That's what we were going to catch was hybrid bass, and we did, 100% we did. As long as the green lights would stay on, because we get some of them docks we'd hit, they'd see a boat pull up, they'd turn it off.
Yeah.
We'd have to go somewhere.
Somebody on Murray the other day, 4th of July weekend, this old woman, she done had one too many. She came out there and said, "Get out of there." And we were like, "Ma'am, we're just fishing this green light. We ain't causing no harm. You can come down here and watch." But she was not having us fishing that green light.
Yeah.
But my thing is, if you don't want people to fish them, don't put them in the water.
Yeah, what are you putting them in the water for?
Yeah, I mean, that's like brush piles. You don't want somebody to fish around your brush pile. Don't put it in the lake.
Yeah. Now, do you throw any big baits?
Like glide baits?
Live baits, big swim baits, stuff like that?
I'll throw the 6-inch mag draft and the coal shad. I really like the coal shads. But I put a no weight in the top of it.
Yep.
But the glides, I try to do it on braid. I've talked to Big Bait John about it at the Classic and at the Noe show.
Yeah.
I'm so scared to throw one off on fluorocarbon. It don't matter if it's 20-pound line. I'll still find a way to break it off, and it's going to get soaring through the air.
Man, I've only thrown it on 20-pound floor. Well, and I'm talking about a 6-inch. I hadn't gone up to the, well, no, I've got some of the slightly bigger, not much, but 8-inch. I'm even throwing, I got the big burritos. I bought the big burrito swim baits. I think I got it on 20 pounds still. Of course, them things are heavy. So that's like throwing a spare tire out there sometimes. But I still do it on 20 pounds. I've gotten used to it, and it don't bother me. Like when I first started, I thought I was going to break off every time I threw the darn thing. You're right, but I've gotten better with the 20-pound fluoro. I'm comfortable with it now. So I don't know how comfortable I'll be throwing it with braid. I just don't know. It seems like I'd overwork it or something with the braid.
Is it just stretch in it, not having stretch for you?
Yeah. And maybe it's just because inexperience with it. Like I'm not experienced enough with glide baits I feel like I'm more comfortable. Even though fluoro doesn't stretch as much as mono does, I just feel like I get the action that I'm looking for because of how I'm probably overworking it sometimes. So, and honestly, being on the boat with Big Bait John, seeing him do it gave me confidence in it. So I just kept doing it, and it seems to work just fine. So.
He's done invited me down there to go fishing with y'all. So I'm gonna have to take it up just to go throw big baits. That's all I want to do.
Listen,
and just
go
learn
with him, man. He goes with folks all the time. He's always taking somebody on the water, going with somebody. Go, man. If you get a chance to get down there, go with him. He'll. Now you gotta. I'll say this: you got to be committed to it if you're gonna go with him. Now he don't tell you not to throw it. Like the first trip with him, I threw the big baits for a while, and then I was like, man, I can catch fish on a shaky head. So I started catching fish with a shaky head and a chatterbait. Well, the biggest fish of the day, at the end of the day, he catches a dang 5-something on a dang glide bait out in the middle of open water. I'm like, crap. I was catching 2-pounders. So
I enjoy watching Quentin's videos and his little clips that he posts with that. I think that's a boss, if I ain't mistaken. Ain't that a swim bait?
Yeah. I don't know which one. Oh crap. I just had a complete brain fart on what he's throwing. But yes, I know exactly which one you're talking about. He's the reason I started throwing swim baits, because he had a video that happened where he boat flipped like an 8.5 pounder one winter on a swim bait. I was like, dude, that was awesome. I want that's what I want to start. I started throwing because of him, and I started refining it because of Big Bait John. But he's the reason I started throwing the darn thing. And the reason I asked the question about big baits, guy on TikTok, Jarrett K14, he said he went to Lanier today, had 21 pounds, 1 4-inch Buka trick shad on a 4-inch Buka. So a little
That's more
smaller.
my size, like the
Yeah.
5 Spros,
Yeah.
the Chad Shads and stuff like that. I like
Right.
stuff like that.
I never did get my little guys. I need to get those. We never did get those when we put our Spro order in. So I need to try to find me some of them. Alex says underspin for him. He likes the underspin, and he does. He does throw the underspin. I'm gonna tell you, the dang underspin gets bit. I get bit on the underspin. I don't throw it as much as I should. I'm on one of these days. I'm gonna get on the water with Rob, spot choker, and we're gonna do a video. I'm just gonna go in there to film. And I'm gonna film how he breaks down water just using the spot choker, because that joker, that's about all he throws. Which I would too if I owned a bait company.
You should do that video in the wintertime. I'd love to
Yeah.
see it in those ditches and
I
learn
want
that.
to see it. I want to see it in the wintertime, but I want to see like when it gets weird, like now, summertime. Those times where people are saying, I don't throw an underspin. That's when I want to see him, because that dude catches them. He'll call me. Me and him will talk. He's like, yeah, I went out there and caught 20 fish today, and 3s and 4s and this, that, and the other. And it's like, dang, when he's not working, he's always working though. So we gotta set up the schedule to get together to do that, because we've been talking about that for a while. All right, Justin Beaver 9106 wants to know best thing to throw on a hot summer night when it's hard to get a bite. What are you throwing?
Shaky head with a Cinco or a drop shot with a green pumpkin worm.
Yeah.
Green pumpkin on both of them. Like that's. I think I know Justin Bieber. But yeah, shaky head. I even give y'all the weight. Throw it out a 1/8 ounce. A lot of
Yeah.
times people are throwing too heavy. I like it. The slow fall of the 8. It works.
Yeah.
You don't have to overwork the bait because it's gonna slow you down. But that's my
Yeah.
daytime thing. Nighttime, running gun lights.
Yeah.
It's
Running
as
gun light.
simple as that. Just running gun lights.
I'm right there with you with the shaky head. You're the 8th, and Eric had to tell me in the comments what size shaky heads he gave me the other day. They caught fish. I don't know what size. I don't think they were quite what I normally throw, so I think they were a little bit lighter. But I normally throw a 1/4 ounce, day and night.
That's what my dad throws a lot on everything. His jigs, his Texas rig worms. He's gonna be a 1/4 ounce.
Now, do you throw your shaky heads on a bait caster or a spinning reel?
Spinning reel. And I'm an FG guy.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah. I didn't know that was going to be a question. No, I'm kidding. No, but so here's the difference. I throw mine on a bait caster. I don't throw it on a spinning reel. So I know with a 1/4 ounce, I won't overwork it as much as I would. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like if I throw a lighter on, obviously it'd be harder to throw a lighter shaky head on a bait caster, but I can throw the 1/4 ounce comfortably enough, get a bomb cast with it, and I can still power fish it, I guess you'd say. But I used to throw it on a spinning reel.
What kind of rod are you throwing that 1/4 ounce on?
It is a 7-foot Falcon medium heavy lowrider. That's the one I got. Do what now?
I said I had to check those out.
I love them. And I've said it on the show before, my only complaint with Falcon is they don't have them in more stores, so I can put my hands on each rod. I'm a big, and that sounded really bad when I said that. Danny takes a clip out of that. That's gonna be really bad. It sounded really bad. Fishing rods, damn it. I'm big on cork handles. I sweat so much till I don't like the EVA foam. I've held the cashings. I just hadn't bit the bullet on getting a cashing yet. So the lowrider has that cork handle, and I'll tell you what, they will handle just about any fish I've ever boat flipped with it, up almost 6 pounds, and just a great rod. It's a great all around rod.
Is it light? Like
Yeah.
this is what I'm asking. If I'm throwing a 1/4, I'm gonna use a medium. I use that Daiwa. It's a cheap rod. It's a Daiwa Laguna, 7-foot
Yeah.
medium.
Yeah.
But it's just I like feeling. I have to have my feeling. I can't feel with those big thick rods, even on a shaky head. I think that Cobb rod, it's this kind of shaky rod. It's a 7.2, I want to say.
Yeah.
It's super light.
Yeah. they're still light enough to feel the tick or whatever, and whatever you get. Obviously, I'm probably losing. I'm definitely losing some sensitivity not using a spinning reel. I just feel like I've got. I don't know. It's something I got confidence in, and I've just been doing it for years now. So
But see, that's where I would draw the line when it comes to a shaky head. Either like the quarter, I would throw it a quarter and heavier. I would throw it on a baitcaster. 3/16 and lighter. That's where I would throw it on the open face.
yeah, yeah.
Like I
I just
get
don't. I just don't ever throw a lighter shaky head. I mean, I've got a box full of 1/4 ounce shaky heads, and then I've actually recently bought some 1/2 ounce, 5/8, and 3/4 ounce shaky heads because of different people I fish with in different areas. They're like, you need heavier shaky heads for this area. So I don't throw them a lot though. I don't throw them a lot. Um, um, and then Tim said, tell my cousin I said hello. Jonathan's my cousin, so that's why I guess he didn't think I was gonna get his comment because we were kind of talking there in a minute. And then Bottom Line Outdoor says I'm in Texas and I've been catching them at night with a glide bait, and that's why I asked that question, because you're seeing them bait fish run through there. It's like, man, that almost seems like a no brainer for a dang glide bait through a
gizzard
dot.
shad in the whites is what's insane because them gizzard shad are that long. It looks like huge gizzard shad.
Yep.
I seen a gar with one in its mouth the other day, and I was like, man, how are you gonna eat that? Just huge.
One bite at a time, man. One bite at a time. Yeah, no, I mean, I think if, and that's one of those things where I'd get out there maybe not going for a tournament, go out there and night fish just to night fish. I'd want to go out there and try the dot lights with a big glide bait, or at least a 6-inch glide bait, something like that. I think that'd be fun to
Should
go
work.
do.
It definitely should work. I mean,
Yeah,
you never know what you could pull up on out there.
yeah, for sure. And then Alex said, I full zombie mode that SOB. I don't know what we're talking about there, but he's zombie something. So maybe he's talking trolling motor speed. I don't know. I don't know what we're talking about here. All right. So Jeremy Conkright says, I've got a different way style of night fishing, basically no dot light fishing. We use black lights and fish down the bank, run points, throw around flats with weights. Makes sense. Creating your own light, basically, using
That's
the black
something
light.
else I ain't never done was throw a big weight bake at night.
Right.
Like I I feel like they would work, but I don't like you with a spinnerbait. I just don't have confidence in doing it. I know it works, and it's hard. It's so hard to break a habit like that and
Oh
try
yeah.
to throw something else.
Well, and we've all said it on the show, and it's everybody talks about it. Tournament time is not the time to practice something new.
Nope.
I mean, that's one of those things where you go out on a Tuesday night, if you got the next day off, and go, I'm gonna go throw a big glide bait or a wake bait or whatever, and see if I can catch fish with it, and then maybe you put it in your rotation.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Alex says I throw black and blue on my jigs and shaky heads night and day on Lanier. And so that's something we've talked about on the show in past, that I don't think gets talked about a whole lot that I've heard. Black and blue on Clearwater Lakes is absolutely killer. I don't know if it's the crawl color that they changed to or what, but jigs on Wedowee, black and blue works great. I don't throw much shaky heads colors that black. Well, I do. I have thrown some 4-roll custom baits, trick worms on shaky heads in daytime, black and blue, and caught fish with them. So I will say that. And then Purr said he don't throw the spinner baits on lights at night.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, yep. And then
It's-
Tim said,
I
"Oh, go ahead."
my chatterbait at night, it's on the bridges, just
What
because
color?
it's.
What color chatterbait you throwing?
If I can't
Do
find a black one, I'm getting a green pumpkin one.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, makes sense. And then Tim said he thinks it's more the action of the worm than the color at night, and it may be. Now, I was going to ask you a question, man, because you said it a couple of times. You're a Cinco guy on a shaky head, right?
Yep.
Why Cinco?
That's just where my confidence is on that one.
I
I've
got
never. It used to be a swamp crawler,
yeah.
but for whatever reason, the Cinco works better for me on the shaky head than the swamp crawler. It used to be. Go ahead.
I was going to say, do you think it's because the Cinco maybe stands up a little better than the dang trick worm or something smaller like that that stands up a little better?
Yeah.
Because I'm not a Cinco guy, but it's something I've hooked on there several times. Thought, man, I need to be using a Cinco on my shaky head, but I go back to a trick worm style worm more than a Cinco. I've had better luck with it.
But what's weird, all right, with that being said, that's like the Crush City pig stick. I
Yeah,
can't get a bite with it on a shaky head. And
yeah,
I'm using the same color, green pumpkin magic. If it's cloudy, I'm throwing a green pumpkin magic, sink it back. I mean, it just works.
yeah.
But that's I can't get a bite with it. If it was like a trick worm or anything, I cannot get a bite with it on a shaky head.
Really,
I
man. See,
can't.
trick worm is my jam on a shaky head. But now, maybe it's again. I don't. Not that I don't have confidence in it, but I've caught so many fish on a trick worm. It's hard for me to throw something different.
That's
Now,
how I feel about the sinker. It's just it's hard.
there was a show. I don't remember when the show. Gosh, I don't remember when it was. It's been a long time ago now. But we talked about different worms. I think it was a show we had. My lineup includes trick worms, magnum trick worms, swamp crawl or magnum swamp crawlers, and then I'll get into the Z crawl worms. Have you tried any of those?
I like what is that the worms that have like a little appendages on them?
It's
They're
got the
like that.
tail.
But what's also weird, I don't throw like down there at Murray. I found them fish on a Magnum trick worm on a shaky head. 8th ounce
Yeah,
shaky head Magnum trick worm candy bug. That's what I was throwing. But that's I won't throw a regular size trick worm on
yeah,
it. But the
yeah,
Magnum, when they're on it, I mean they'll hit it to the crushers.
yeah. I've I cycle through. Excuse me. I cycle through those 4 or 5 worms in a day, and I say that, and I almost lied on the show here, y'all. So I also throw in the fluke stick, basically a Cinco with tails on it, with 2 little tails on it. It's just a little, you know what a fluke stick is, right? It's got the 2 little. I throw that in there, so I have caught them on basically on a Cinco, but there's a lake that I fish that it's one of those 5 different worm types, and depending on which worm you're throwing, you can actually almost guess the weight of the fish with it. You know, you get the Z if they're on a Z crawl bite, it's usually the bigger fish, really. The fluke stick will catch your medium sized fish, and then go down a trick worm. You can clean up with those. It's just weird, but I'll cycle through all 5 of those 5 or 6 different style of worms to figure out which one they're going to bite more consistently. So
That's what Paul Marks was doing on Hartwell last year, if I ain't mistaken, throwing that Cinco, that
fluke stick,
yeah, fluke stick, that natural heron.
yeah, yeah. That was something that that I picked that up from Marks on the fluke stick part of it. Of course, I use the green pumpkin. I don't use the natural herring like he's using. Um, all right. John Wilson says nighttime fishing is a poor man's forward facing sonar. There you go.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right. So Eric's got the question because we kind of sort of broke into that a minute ago. And I may have interrupted it. All right. What's your arsenal at night? 5 rods. What 5 rods are on your deck? What you got rigged up?
A shaky head, a crankbait, a drop shot, a swim bait of some type. It. I've caught them with the big 6 inch swim bait. When they're hitting it, they're on fire. You have a blast. And the 5th rod, I guess a chatterbait, but it's
Make,
it's area specific on where I'm throwing this stuff.
yeah.
Green lights is more your swim baits and your crankbaits. Regular lights is more drop shot and shaky head. And
Yeah.
then the bridge, you got to have something you could run down. And like I said, I throw a silent crankbait at night. So I just, my confidence ain't there. I'd rather something be ticking down those rocks at the
Yeah.
bridge. Just,
Right.
it, just my confidence.
I got you.
When they
So
load
how
up
long?
on, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. My
I
question's
was gonna
different.
say when they load up on that chatterbait at night, there's no guessing. There's no
Yeah,
guessing either. I mean, they're on it.
it's on it. How long are your night tournaments you're typically fishing?
6 hours. Let me add some juice to that
All right,
chatterbait.
go for it. Go for it.
Instead of throwing a swim bait and straight tail worms on your chatterbait, throw a crawl. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Throw a crawfish. It's something I've been playing with, and it's
Now,
been fun.
if you can give it away, if you can't, that's fine. What crawl are you throwing on your chat? And I have a reason for asking that question.
A, a Yamamoto, um, a Yamamoto. What I don't know what it's called. It's one of the Yamamoto crawls. It comes with a blue package. It's in the clamshell, and there's a blue package that says Yamamoto baits across it.
I got you. I
And
don't throw a lot of Yamamoto stuff.
rig it sideways. I hate to even dip off in that. rig the crawl sideways and make sure it's straight because you don't want him. He won't swim right. You'll feel it in the chatterbait. It don't. It feels wrong. Like
When I
it's
got when I got back into fishing, I hated a chatterbait. They weren't the chatterbaits weren't even around when I got out of fishing in whatever year it was. They didn't. I mean, if they were there, they were very new. So when I got back into it, and I'm watching all my YouTube videos and learning how to get back into doing what's going on now, and it's chatterbait, chatterbait, chatter. So I buy chatterbaits, and I'm putting my Z Crawl Junior on there flat, and that son of a gun rises to the top almost every dang time. And I'm like, what the what the heck? I started putting it sideways, which helped a lot, but then I started figuring out my style of fishing. I overwork everything, torque everything. So I had to go with a heavier chatterbait, and then I could throw pretty much whatever I wanted to on there. But that makes a lot of sense, putting it on there sideways. And
I throw a swim jig the same way too. If and that's one thing that around the docks when that swim jig's on, it's home. Like there's no guessing. You can't do nothing wrong. But for whatever reason, they'll hit it. They like it sideways more than flat. I don't
yeah,
know because like what you're talking about, the rise in it, and those little images are just back there, just kicking like a little brim.
maybe it looks more like a bait fish at that point, not a crawl.
I'm guessing, but
I mean,
that's how I've rigged it.
I've got the swim jigs in the boat, but I don't throw them nearly enough. I've got guys that I fish with, guys been on the show talk about the swim jig, and it's one of those things that I have. I'm going to start practicing with it more, but I just don't. It's just not something I pick up every time. But everybody talks about the swim jig, and it's almost like, and you can swim any jig basically, but the swim jig itself, swimming it like that, that's something I need to do more of.
Grass down where you are, like lilies and stuff like that.
It depends on the lake you go to. So once you step over into the East Alabama lakes, you get into places like Logan Martin. It's not lilies, it's more your bank style grass that comes off in the water. I don't know what water willows
That
type stuff.
pond weeds. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That's what
Stuff like
Murray's
that.
got going. But that's what I was asking. The only lake I got is Murray, and it's 45 minutes down the road.
Yeah.
So that's the only grass lake we have, and that's a true grass lake.
Yeah.
It
Now,
looks really good out there with
now
all the grass coming.
you get into Gunnersville, which is about 2 hours from me, 2.5 hours, whatever it is. You can get every grass you want to fish, but a lot of it's eelgrass. But you can get into hydrilla, you can get into that long stalky stuff, and there's all kinds out there. You just got to figure out which one they're on. And I'm not a grass lake expert by any means. I mean, by any means. I want to throw like stuff that you think fish are going to eat in the grass. Like I want to throw a frog or something like that.
Frog. Yeah, that's my go.
I mean, I don't get a chance to throw a frog a whole lot, but now that I've gotten that out of the way at this last Gunnersville trip, that's what I want to throw at everything. Now is a frog, and it's something I'll tell you that I've learned over the last year that I didn't really think would play a whole lot. Don't skip a frog at some of your just regular bodies of water. They will absolutely kill a frog on Wadawi. There's gonna be some guys that are like, don't tell that's juice, but they will absolutely kill a frog on Wadawi. These Clearwater lakes, they'll still eat it. So, Purr says, me and Speece were fishing a light together. Same bait, different color. I was catching, he wasn't. Gave him mine, and we both started catching. So sometimes the color does make a difference. It may just be light refraction off that color that night, like you talked about earlier. Why they bite a black grape versus a June bug?
It don't make no sense. Like I can understand a jig versus a shaky head, a worm versus the crawl, but the color thing, I've seen it. It's wild.
It blows your mind, don't it?
And they'll hit a mag 2, which is a smaller worm, big worm, over the old monster, and same thing, vice versa. Whatever the fish's mood is that night.
Yeah, I wish we could, like if we could answer all those questions,
we'd be looking good.
We'd be rich and we'd never lose a tournament for sure. All right, Coleman's got a question for you. What's your take on Russell?
It's got a lot of trees in it.
Got a lot of trees in it.
It's a fun lake to fish, especially with live scope. You can go out there and have a ball with scope and throw in the Nico rig, Koike, minnow. Yeah. I mean, that's my 3 go-tos. You can shaky head fish too. You'll see them out there on those flats and just floating. Throw a shaky head and they'll go down to it, and they're dumb. Those fish out there, I hate to say it, but they're so easy to catch.
Really?
It's so fun. But it's a scope lake. I give it that because I tried to do it old school this year, dragging Carolina rigs on points and stuff. I was like, man, this blows. I was like, I got to go out there and scope them. But
you lost me.
Go ahead.
So you lost me at Carolina rig. That's one of those things that I'll tie it on.
if I have to go to Carolina rig, I ain't gonna catch a fish because I'm not gonna
Yeah.
do it for long. I'm not slow fishing.
I used to keep a Carolina rig in the boat all the time until I looked in there one day and everything on it was rusted, and I was like, "There's I don't ever do Carolina rig stuff, man." I mean, I know it works. I used to catch them on it when I was younger, but God, I just don't. I don't
I
do it.
can't go out there and drag like I got ADHD or something because I just cannot go out there and just slow pull. Like that's so boring. Even that day, I knew I wasn't fishing that tournament the next day because I was like, if I got to catch them on a Carolina rig, this ain't gonna be fun.
Yeah, and I know it works. I'm not dogging anybody that throws a Carolina rig
Uh-uh.
because I've had guys kick my teeth in on the Carolina rig. I'm like you. If they're not biting it the way I want to bite, the way I want them to bite, I'm moving to a different spot and trying something different, and probably driving past a bunch of good fish too. Unfortunately, Coleman says y'all go like live. Yeah, y'all like live. I appreciate it if y'all like it. We appreciate y'all stopping in with a question and comments tonight too. I know I'm behind a little bit. We're gonna catch up. What about boat docks light up like daytime? You fish them in daytime, it's shade. What about big boat docks light up like daytime? You fish them in daytime, it's shade. Yeah, you're right. I mean, in the daytime, it is a shady dock, and then in the nighttime, it's lit up like a Christmas tree. Um, but you're also talking about it being different. You know, it's something different. So there's darkness all around them at night, and that's the only thing different is that light that gives them that opportunity to fit. That's my
But
theory.
they'll use the docks like shade
Yes.
with lights too. If that
Yeah.
light's casting a shadow up under that dock, they'll sit up under there too. It's
Yeah.
just like time.
You're you're 100% right. You're
Your
dead on
angle,
with that.
your angles matter when it comes to that type of stuff.
Yep. You're
Like
100%.
angles are a big thing in fishing.
Yeah. It's the dock creates shade on that
Mhm.
light because unless the light's under the dock, then it's a different type. But there's still a shade line because now the outside of the dock's a shade line versus the inside. So it all plays like that. Alex says marinas at night, 100%. I think you're 100% right on that. Early morning too. Early morning too. Uh, and then Jeff Brazil says, I guarantee a drop shot works at night. Yep. Yep.
It does.
All right. All right. So we got your dad's in the house. Terry
Yeah.
Messick. I'm Jonathan's dad. Don't be afraid to change your colors, weight sizes, lure sizes, especially on the weekend nights. The pressure is way up then. Slowing down is the key. He says slow down.
Yeah, I ain't slowing down. I'm sorry, we ain't slowing down.
Ah.
His
Do
knees
you
are tired by the time he got off the boat with me because
uh-oh,
we're up and down.
you're moving it. Now, do y'all fish together in these tournaments or you have a partner and he has a partner?
No, we fish separate. We can't fish together. We'd argue. We fish
Really?
completely different.
All right. Who's winning more tournaments?
Me.
Uh-oh.
I
Uh-oh. Shots
have to
fired.
say on
Shots
that one.
fired. I love it. Shots fired.
He did
Uh,
have. He should have won the other night, but in that Moonshiners Club we fished, you can't have a dead fish, and it burnt both of us. He had
oh,
his big fish was a 526, and he had two 3 pounders to go with it, but one of the 3 pounders died, and he had to use. We're allowing for like July and August, you can weigh in 12-inch spots.
yeah.
So he had to weigh one of them 12-inch spots in with that 5 pounder, and it he still
Oh,
got second, but I know that one stung. I
that's
know that one stung.
yeah,
He
that's
had
done.
11 pounds in three. So yeah.
Man, that hurt your feelings right there. Dang. All right. Danny just did a show. They were talking the other day about live well care.
hmm
How are you treating your nighttime tournaments with live well care versus, let's say, a daytime tournament? Anything different, or are you doing it the same?
I still put ice in it. You need an aerator. You really need an aerator in these boats with that water being 90 degrees.
Now, when you say aerator, are you talking about the stock aerator that comes on the boat, or are you talking about a bubbler?
I'm talking about a bubbler. You can buy
Okay.
one on Academy right now for $40. They got them on sale.
Yep.
And it's got two hoses that come off with check valves on them, and it comes with a little stone. Just drill a
Yeah.
little hole in your live well, seal it up, and just let it run.
Yeah.
And I promise you, if you got a fish, because you can feel those fish right before they're about to die, they lose their slime coat real bad, and they
Yep.
just eyes go
Milky.
yellowish looking. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
but with that aerator, I have not lost a fish in it. But
Yeah.
I'm using my cousin's boat, Timmy's, and he doesn't have an aerator. He's got the recirc pump. What I've
Yeah.
noticed when you pumping hot water in there, though, is still it does something to them. And like I
Yeah.
said, we're fishing a 3 fish tournament, so it's not overpopulating the live wells.
Right.
It's just whatever's in the heat of the night. But I'm starting out, put half a bag, I got about a 20-pound bag of ice, put half of it in at the start, run, let your water get cold, and just try to keep it that temperature throughout the night. Just
Right.
you want to touch it, and it wants to be cool to your hand, to your
Right.
touch, and that's
Um,
the best way I figured it out.
are you running any kind of live well treatments at all, like G juice or anything like that?
Yeah, we'll put Juju in it. My dad actually just got some new stuff. I don't know what he got, but he said the last tournament they fished, he didn't lose a fish. So I guess
Now,
he didn't have none of that stuff with him.
shameless plug for our buddy over at Fish Nerd Labs. He makes Smart Soak, and it's specially formulated for the heat, the hot times of the year. So we got it when we were all testing and all that stuff. We got it dip back when it was cold. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't fish a lot of tournaments much anymore, but it stays in the boat with me during our when we do fish our tournaments. And so far, man, them fish are jumping out of the thing live wells when you put it in there. They're excited. So maybe give that stuff a shot. It's some good stuff. He don't make a bad product so far. So
Is it like soap you clean your live well with, or you just
no,
put it like just the additive?
it's called that's the phone fade. I don't have the Smart Soak up here. It's called Smart Soak,
I
SOAK.
love soak.
So
I thought it was
it's
soap.
literally one of the same style containers that G Juice comes in. You squeeze it, you pour it in your live well. It's got a light blue color to it. You can't tell it's blue in the water by any means at all. But it's specially formulated. I've got all the white papers and stuff when he was doing all the testing and whatnot. But it's some good stuff. He's tested on bait tanks where they've actually cut the bubblers off on bait tanks and just put the Smart Soak in there to try to see what the fish will do. He's done the striper tournaments, catfish tournaments. He's made sure they all had Smart Soak and stuff like that. And it's some good stuff, man. It's worth checking out.
That's stripers. I don't know if you ever looked into it, but they have striper tubes where they got to constantly pump water in that fish's mouth. Those, if it works on that, then I know it's a good product because those are
Yeah,
some fragile fish, just like heron. Heron,
they're
that's a
very
fragile.
yeah. Stripers are stupid fragile. Be as big and as mean as they are fighting you. Them doggone things will die on you in a heartbeat. In
But
a
it's
heartbeat.
impressive how those guys put them down in those tubes and stuff to keep them alive. Like
Yeah.
that's pretty impressive.
Yep. Tim says me and Jonathan caught so many on a drop shot one night we got tired of catching bass.
We did.
Yeah.
It was actually in our fish off. I pulled up to just. I've never thrown a drop shot a day in my life. I had it tied on. Flipped up there and I caught one. I was like, all right, we're going to the next trussel. Pulled up to the trussel and there was a little point that came out. We caught so many fish that night. It was just back to back to back. I was throwing a green pumpkin zoom Z drop worm that
Yeah.
night. And I ran out of them. And I was throwing the swamp crawlers on it. It did not matter what we threw. It was just one of our nights.
They were just biting it, huh?
Yeah. And it was insane. Big
Now
ones, little ones.
was this a fun
Oh, my
fishing
God.
thing?
No, we were in a fish off, like the
I
end of
got
the
you.
year tournament.
Yeah.
And just I had to make a decision. I was like, do I want to run lights or do I want to go hit the bridges? And I
Right.
made a choice. I went down to the next bridge and caught a 3 and a 4 pounder. And I was like, well, that seals the deal right there. And a
Right.
gar, like I said, I stuck a gar with a drop shot. Just
Dang gar. Dang gar. And
everywhere.
and Tim says y'all got a million brush piles down there where y'all fish. So
It's on
that's
every dock.
and
Like,
and, and it almost makes it hard to fish when you got that much to choose from. All them docks and all them brush piles. Like, what are you gonna change up?
yep.
Alex says he likes catching the stripers on the ultralight gear. I could see that being a lot of fun. And then so Eric wants to know how much slower do you fish at night? And we're behind in the comments in good ways, y'all. So I apologize we're this far behind. How much slower at night are you fishing?
I'm running and gunning. I can't slow down.
Yeah, we know
Yeah,
you're
I can't.
you didn't called your dad out. You said he'll sit in the spot for 3 hours.
Yeah.
You'll be
In a
you'll be done
6 hour tournament, he's there for half the tournament. I can't do it.
yeah. And I've
Because
seen
I've
that.
seen it on one of y'all's podcast. It was one of the herring guys. It was either Emil, Paul Marks. It was one of the Surge Squad guys. And they were talking about why would you sit on one spot when you can go to the next spot and you don't know what you can catch. And that stuck with me. And I was like, I'm gonna start running lights like that.
I'm gonna tell you why. That's 20-year-old knees versus 40-year-old knees. That's why. Getting up down that seat. That's why. No, I mean, but you're right because on that show it was Emil Wagner. One of them was Emil, and he's talking about running 85 or 75 brush piles in one tournament, And that clicked in my head. That same winter, I went out and started scanning and looking for all the brush piles and stuff and marking them. And then I'd go out. Now, granted, I wasn't catching what he's catching, obviously, but it made a difference for me because if I didn't catch something off that brush pile in the first couple of casts with a drop shot or whatever I was using at the time, I just moved to the next brush pile. And eventually, I was going to run into some fish.
Yeah. It's more. I feel like it's a game of numbers. How many points can you hit when it comes to the hair and stuff or brush? How much can you hit? I mean, you're eventually going to run into them.
Yeah.
I know if you're catching a whole bunch of little fish, eh, I don't know about y'all, but I always have the feeling you're going to eventually run into that big one that you're looking for. Even if you're
Yeah.
catching a whole bunch of little ones, it's going to happen eventually.
I think that's where my tournament issues come in at, because I'm still at number one. I like to catch fish. So if I start catching fish, I'm like, oh, this pattern's working for
Yep.
pound and a halfers it is, and we'd always it's loaded with smaller. They're getting better. Honestly, they're getting better after this year. I've seen they're getting better. But like Sunday, I went out, started catching fish in the backs of pockets, like really shallow. Well, heck, I was like, I ain't caught a whole bunch of fish. I'm just going to start hitting the backs of these pockets. I don't care if they're pound fish or not. I end up catching, a couple pound, a couple pound spotted bass. Got me hung up in a tree and whatnot. Video's going to come out tomorrow, y'all. But but again, I like catching fish. So I'm like, well, that's the pattern that's working. Well, it might be the pattern that's working, but it's not the big fish pattern. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I get.
I struggle with that too, though, because if I'm catching them on a shaky head, there's not much. I'm really good with a shaky head. That is
Yeah,
my confidence bait, and when they're biting it, I'm not putting it down. It's so
right.
hard to put it down.
It's that, and that's what ended up being on Sunday with shaky head. I threw everything at him. I crankbait. I was throwing some new lures that I got from iCast that the company sent me. Um, I did catch one on my topwater skedaddle though. I did catch one. They were schooling. I caught one there. But stuff like that. But yeah, when they started biting the shaky head, it was consistent bites, and it's a pattern that started to form. I was like, "Yep, it's shaky head." The rest of the day, I don't think I threw anything else after that. Well, I tried a jerk bait, but it didn't work out. And then Coleman's got his spy glasses on for any kind of West Point juice we might be giving out. Well, Coleman, we didn't give out any West Point juice. I can tell you that right now. And then Eric said, yeah, it was a clutch boss that he's throwing. Clutch. That's why I couldn't think of clutch for some reason earlier. Clutch boss. And that's a good swim bait or glide bait. D Daddy Fishing says, just as bad as lights being turned off as some people leave old big fishing rods with line on them where you can't get anywhere close to the dock. Oh, yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
true too. My daddy's a snatch a couple rods by accident because he's the one that really taught me to stay away from the lights and throw up to it. But if you're way out and you don't see it's dark. You're not gonna see a rod up there with the light shining out at you.
Yeah.
It just happens. I mean,
You're right. You're
we
right.
got one. I got one story for y'all. We were fishing one night, and this man, they had a statue up on the seawall. My daddy threw it up there, and I guess he had a rod, one of those old fake rods. He hung the rod, and when he went to go pull his worm back, he pulled the whole statue off into the lake. And I was like, "You're gonna get a shot."
Oh no.
Statue. I don't know if it had to be one of those little owls. You know what I'm talking about? That people
Yeah.
put up for the
Keeps the
bird.
bird. Yeah.
He pulled it slap off into the lake. So I hope it floats. If not, then people are going to see their statue.
Somebody lost their poor owl off in the lake somewhere. That's terrible. I hope they're not watching the show and goes, I wonder where that owl went.
It's in the lake right beside the seawall because we didn't touch it. We got out of there.
Dang. Eric said that the ones he gave me were 1/8 ounce. I knew they wasn't a quarter. I thought they were 1/8 or 3/6. I knew they were right there around that size for sure. And Coleman said he likes to throw 1/8 or 3/16 shaky head unless the wind is insane. Again, I'm guilty of throwing a dang heavier one. All right. So I was going to ask the question earlier and I forgot to ask it early on. So the question's coming. Do you believe in Bigfoot?
Hey, I heard him one night.
You did?
Did. Me and Tim Gossett did. On
Really?
Lake. I promise you, ma'am, I got goosebumps talking about this now.
Uh-oh.
It's bad. I can feel the hair on my back or on my neck. We pulled up in this pocket. We were fishing at night, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. All right, there were some dogs off in the woods. We heard them barking, coyotes. You know how they howl.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I was about to say he's going to comment. Tim Gossett's going to comment on this. All right, we were fishing. Something howled off to our. It was right. No, it was to our right of us. It howled. Well, a couple seconds go by. We didn't say nothing. We were like, "No, it's just something happened." But something in front of us howled back to it at a higher pitch, and I'm talking about you. These ain't no little howls. These are like what you hear on Bigfoot. And I'm telling y'all, we heard it. We heard
Yeah.
two of them. And I'll stick to that story to the day I die because I promise you, I believe in he's out there. He's
Okay.
out there. We've heard him.
Hey, listen. I mean, the only
But
difference in a believer and a non-believer is something happened that makes them believe, right? I mean, you just never know.
I mean, that's one of those stories that I can go back every time and just I remember. Like it's like reminiscing because I remember where I was at the exact spot, and me and him looked at each other and was like, "Did you hear that too?" It was one of those
Yeah.
things where we didn't want to say nothing until the other
Right.
person said something, and then but I promise y'all, something howled back that night to that other howl, and it wasn't no coyotes. Everything shut up after that. Like it was just
Really.
quiet, and that's like I said. I've looked up the Bigfoot videos of him howling or whatnot. I got goosebumps talking about that. That's crazy.
It.
But
You know. It again, until something happens to you, you never know what you're going to believe or not believe in. You know, I've told the story before about hearing the tree knocks, and I'm talking about the middle of the night, dark. Like there's no reason, no houses anywhere near. And I heard the knocking. I'm like, and I mentioned it to my buddy. I said, "Did you hear that?" And he goes, "I did." And I said, if I didn't know any better, I think it was Bigfoot." And he stopped before. He was like, "Dude, Bigfoot's out here. My brother's seen him." Blah 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 blah. But I don't know. I want to believe he's there, but I just don't know. I
it's
don't. I love the stories.
I would love to have seen what answered that because there's no other sound that I've ever heard that sound like that besides like you could watch the watching Bigfoot and catching Bigfoot shows and
Can you can
it
you
sounded
can you recreate
identical.
Can you recreate the sound for us?
I can't. I can't. I got
I,
neighbors.
I was gonna
Can't. We
try.
got
I
thin
was gonna try.
walls.
We get
My
Messick
old
with those
lady would look
Bigfoot
at me like
sounds.
I'm crazy if I was over here howling.
I was gonna try to get you, man. I'm sorry. I had to try. I had to try. All right. All right. Let's see. And then all right. So bottom line outdoors. He said he uses a small shaky head. If he uses a small, it's on BFS setup. That makes sense. I don't have any BFS setups yet. Um, Alex says you need to try the Swagger sticks, which is from Tactical Fishing Company. It's their Cinco style bait, stick bait. Really good bait. Um, I've used them. I've used a bunch of them. Um, all in through on my shaky heads was a Cinco until I tried them. Oh yeah, he threw all of them. He threw all the different Cincos until he tried the Swagger sticks. He's definitely on that for sure. Um, Patricia Leanne Shaw, humps on Lanier at night is where you throw a spinnerbait. So there you go. And then like Alex says right here, we were talking about chatterbaits earlier, and this is what I throw if I'm going to throw a crawl style bait on the chatterbait, the MRE. Have you tried any of the MREs yet?
I haven't.
Look up Tactical Fishing Company and check out his baits. Those MREs are legit. When I first put on a chatterbait after throwing a fluke for a long time, once I figured out the fluke worked really well, I tried those, and man, those largemouth will absolutely destroy a dang Brazalo strutter with the doggone MRE on the back. And I use the Gobi color. It's got a little bit of purple in it. Or I don't know. Alex, if you're still in the chat, what did he change the name? He changed the names of his colors. And I bought a crap ton of stuff, so I hadn't made an order in a while. I bought bags on stuff. What did he change the Gobi color? Is he still making that Gobi color? Or is it a different name now? I think he changed a bunch of names to different stuff. So maybe Alex can answer that in the chat. Randall Perry, he joined in a little late. What's Jonathan's home lake? What's your home lake? Which one do you say is your home lake?
Lake Greenwood, South Carolina. Just Lake Greenwood. We
There
had
you
a
go.
train derailment today on it. If you look that up on the news, you can see it. Yeah.
Really?
I think it was like 17 cars messed up,
On the
and it
lake?
went right over. No, it was off the trestle. It just had crossed over the trestle, and then the train derailed.
Damn.
So,
Wow.
uh,
The
and
bunch of
we just
overturned.
benched that trestle the other night.
Is it a bunch of overturned cars or just
Yeah, that's
a
what it was. It just like bunched up, but 20 feet behind him, he'd have been
would
off
be?
his way.
Oh yeah, for sure. Uh, I know when I used to work for a company that worked on the railroad, anytime one of those wheels came off the track, it was called a derailment, even if it didn't do anything. So that's why I asked if it actually bunched up and turned over, if it was just one
Yeah,
of those.
these are bunched up. I think
Well,
it's
he
still
might
fan.
really. That's probably a good thing. It's still nothing else then right there near the water. Um, Tim says he still loves his shaky head with a black and blue Yum Dinger. So now, all right, what shaky? Well, what stick bait are you throwing? Are you throwing a sink like an actual Cinco, or are you throwing a Yum Dinger? Are you throwing a Zoom? Oh.
I gotta drop some juice.
Okay.
It's a Yum Elder's Magic. I try to keep it hush, and I know it's been talked on about the show, but that Elder's Magic, it's a go-to.
I was gonna
It's
say that
too big.
Danny dropped that on the show, and that's all Eric will throw now. He's throwing that Elder's Magic. He swears by it.
They got this new worm coming out. I don't know if y'all seen it at iClass, but it's got like a little tail on the end of it. It's just a regular. It looks like a trick worm with a little tail.
I don't
It's
I don't guess I saw it.
but they're making that in Elder's Magic for a Nico worm.
I got you.
And
Might be something to look into, huh?
yeah, I think it's gonna be good. That color is just it changes colors. If it's
Yeah.
cloudy, it's more purple. If it's clear, it's see-through green pumpkin. It's perfect.
Okay. So yeah, I didn't see that, but there's some bait companies I bought some stuff from. They do that color changing, and it is wild to watch it color change like that. And I think it definitely good. So the shaky head I was using, and I'll drop this. It's going to be in my video that I'm going to put out hopefully tomorrow. Eric's got some shaky heads he's making, and I hope you don't mind me saying this on the show. They got a screw lock head on, which I'm not a huge fan of screw lock, but they did catch fish, so I'm not complaining about them by any means. But they got a color changing head to them, and it's a green pumpkin pink color. And I'm telling you right now, if you're on Widowie, if you can find something that changes green pumpkin pinkish color, whether it be the skirt on a jig or the head on a shaky head, the fish on Widowie will bite that thing, especially anywhere near the spawn. I don't know if it's that pink plays or whatever, but the spawn, the post spawn area, I'm telling you, big fish will eat it up. So that's
Clear water and pink is
yeah.
something. Is something with the clear water. That's like the pink chatterbait. And speaking of, if anybody's got one, I would be glad to buy one from you. One of those morning dong half-ounce jackhammers.
All
I'd
right.
be
So
glad to get.
are you stuck on jackhammer?
Yes, I really haven't tried anything else.
All right, I'm gonna tell you. Reach out to Brazzalo, tell him I sent you. Try the Strutter 2.0.
Does he have it
Try
in
it.
that morning dong color?
He made a crap ton of them back when it was going hot. I don't know if he's got it on the website. I haven't looked at the website in a minute. But with his baits, with his he has a direct connect to the head blade now, where before he didn't because of the patent. He now has direct connect blade. I don't know that you're going to find one as close to a jackhammer on
That's
anything
his.
else. Yeah,
Yeah.
check them. They're wire tied. They you can change the blade color, so you don't have to buy a white. With jackhammers, if you want to change it to a gold blade, you got to buy two different jackhammers. You got to change the
Right.
blade yourself because they don't put a gold blade on a white skirted jackhammer. They don't. So
I
if I
think
want
I
a gold
looked
blade,
at those. Did he have them at the classic?
he didn't have a booth, but there was some guys selling some of his stuff. But I thought he only had buzz baits there because Pat Schlopper was at his booth. Because
Yeah, I was talking to Pat and
yeah,
him. I got to meet both of them at the same time. That was pretty cool. They were over there
he,
like in a corner, right
yes,
by those Cyclops jigs. And then if you walked on around, you got Big Bait John right there with Buka.
yep, that's exactly right. But go to his website, Brazzalo's, custom lures. Check out his. I promise you, they're legit. They're legit, and he's got some new stuff coming that we can't talk about yet. But trust me, it's gonna be good too. So y'all, check. But I like the fact that you can change your blade colors. If you want a pink one with a blue blade, you can put a pink one with a blue blade together.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Whatever he's got available. So, and then Terry says he likes getting in the boat with Jonathan. He said we catch a lot of fish. So at least your dad likes getting in the boat with you fishing.
I teach him too much. That's an issue. I teach him. And he goes back and he uses it against me.
Hey, that's the thing about fishing. That's part of it. That's part of it. Jeff Brazil said that's called the Yum Gadget worm. The worm you're talking about with the
Yeah, it's got a little tail on it.
Yum Gadget worm. So that's something to check out. And then Eric said he has one also called Lava Crawl. That's his shaky head. color or his jig. Oh yeah, Eric. I got a jig. It's in the boat. I didn't bring it up here with me, but he's got a jig. He's got tied that I got. This it's almost a solid pink. It's got pink and white mixed together. Ooh, it looks good. It's gonna be a killer jig.
It don't make no sense. I won my fish off last year on a pink chatterbait, just
Yep.
the new berserk, and now you
Yep.
can't find them. I mean, you can't
Yeah.
find anything with pink in it. It's for whatever reason, it's like the quickies. It took over.
Sergeant Swing just commented they do have Morning Dawn on the Brazalo website.
I have to check them out. Thank you.
Telling you, check them out, man. And for the price, you can't beat it. I think they're $9.99 or $10.99, something like that. They're cheap. They're cheaper, but they're not made cheap. The weights are stamped in the head. The weight sizes are stamped in the head of the bait. Like I said, they're wire tied. They last forever. I think I cut one off the other day that it had been on there forever, and it for some reason wasn't swimming right. And instead of trying to tweak it, I just cut it off and put a new one on. So I didn't even think about it. Think twice. I put it back in the box. I'll tweak it one day, or it'll get hung up on the wall somewhere. But
I know we're at our 2 hours, but
yeah,
I got a question for you.
okay.
Why don't you like a shaky head with a screw lock?
I feel like my hookup ratio is better with the. So what I did a video and I put out. You may have seen it. I don't know. What I do is I cut the head of the worm at like a 45 angle, and then I super glue I run it through there, run it through the worm, and I super glue it to the head of the bait. I just feel like I don't know why I feel like my hookup ratio is a bit better. And I may be completely off, but of course in the video comments you get 50-50 on guys are like, yep, the pros don't use a screw lock, they use a blah blah blah, whatever. I just feel like that's been a better hookup ratio for me. I use a Freedom Tackle flat bottom shaky head a lot, and I use the Spro skip gaps a lot. And then the ones Eric gave me the other day, I caught all my fish except for one on his shaky head. The only reason I didn't catch it, I caught the first fish, I had to cut it loose because it swallowed the whole thing. It swallowed the head. I mean, it was gone. I'm like, yep, not getting that one back. So I pulled the worm out, cut the wire, and let him run. He swam off. Of course, he's digesting a hook right now. But I caught one fish on the Freedom Tackle, and then I got hung up in a brush pile, broke it off, and I put his other one back on and caught the rest of the fish for the day on his screw lock head. So I don't know. It's just been one of those confidence things, maybe, but I feel like I get a better hookup with it.
Well, I know, like throwing an 1/8 ounce size. If you go with the spot removers, the ones in the little package, the little green ones, pay attention to the hook. It's only got like a 3/0 hook on it on an 8 compared to a 3/16 with a 4/0.
Yep.
Owner don't do that. Owner's got an 1/8 ounce with a 4/0 hook on it, and that's my go-to shaky head. Now I was just wondering with the screw lock because I've never paid it no attention. Like I've thrown the Spros, but I really don't like the football head on the Spros.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I use the ball head on the Spros. I do have football heads, but I use mainly the ball heads. And one of my buddies, he's one of the guys that was at ICAST last year with us. He's called There He Goes Fishing's on TikTok. So he makes a Spro skip gap style shaky head. That's his own brand style. So it's got the same bend in the hook. It's got it's a good hook. Very good hook, very good shaky head. I got my boxes full of Freedom, Spros, and TFG, their THF shaky head. Excuse me, I'll get it out in a minute. Those are the ones that I use all the time. And yeah, we're past the 2 hours. And Eric says motor oil is the color he calls it motor oil, but I'm telling you, it's a color shifting between a pink and a green. It's a really cool color on that shaky head. Really cool color on that shaky head.
Yeah, and he said he's got an 1/8 on his 4/0 hook.
Yeah,
so that's good.
4/0 hook, and that's one of the reasons I like that hook because it's still a good meaty hook. Now, once I get into my bigger shaky heads, like your 1/2 ounce, 5/8, 7, they're all screw locks because at that point you got a gaff of the hook most of the time.
Are you throwing that 9/0 hook that Owner makes? They like an ultra shaky head thing, and it's got like a 9/0 hook on it.
I hadn't tried. The only reason I bought the bigger ones was because we went over to Logan Martin with the guide Eric and I did, and he was like, "No, you got to use a heavy shaky head." I was catching them on quarter just fine, but he was like, "Man, you get on some of these other spots, you're gonna have to have a heavier." And when we got in the boat traffic, you wasn't throwing a 1/4 ounce in that boat traffic.
Is it deeper, or is it the current pushing through?
No, but because of once the traffic picks up on them spots, you're still only fishing 20 foot of water maybe and throwing into a flat. the boat trap, you ain't throwing a quarter ounce and feeling it, because we were literally that's the most tired I've been in a long time after fishing all day. And we fished all day, and we 3 people on a boat fighting on them boats. It was wild day. So it was a quarter ounce wasn't feeling on the bottom once we got out there in that open water. So that's why. But not that I'm ignoring you, Patricia, but the NPFL getting locked out of the lock, man, that'll have to be on the next show, because honestly,
That
it's
was
after.
crazy. That was
Yeah,
wild.
I hadn't researched everything. I saw the memo that got put out that supposedly sent to the lock master, and he ignored it. Blah blah blah. I don't know, but like our buddy Chris Flint said, you take a chance anytime you run a lock. You take a chance on getting locked out, right or wrong or indifferent. It affected my buddy John Cox. He didn't get to come back on the first day with any. I think he had like 2 pounds left over after they took his time penalties away. So
How many anglers actually got locked out?
it was a bunch. I don't
It
know how
was a
many it
bunch.
was. It was a bunch. It was enough to make it probably a close tournament for the rest of the field, because it was a bunch of folks got locked out. I mean, I saw several guys that decided to go fish somewhere else after day one, because they were like, "There's no sense in me fishing day 2 and 3." So anyway, guys, I appreciate it. Jonathan, man, that was an awesome show, dude. That 2 hours flew by, and I always gauge a show how fast it flies by. I always gauge the guests, because, like, dude, we're 2:05 and we're still talking. So
Yeah, I mean, we can keep going. It's
dude,
just we
I
just
appreciate
flirt.
it. I enjoyed getting to talk with you more than just a couple of minutes like we did the classic, because being busy and stuff. It was awesome talking to you. Drop some good juice on it, and hopefully folks will go night fishing now and just be safe with it. So I appreciate it.
Life jacket, pliers, and spotlight.
Life jacket, pliers, and spot. If nothing else, the dang life jacket don't need to leave the boat anyway. So that needs to be out there no matter what. But man, I appreciate it. Hope you had a great evening. Enjoy your day, the rest of the week, folks. Again, like Jonathan just said, if you're out fishing, wear your life jacket. We're seeing too many people getting in trouble on the water, and then having something that literally could have saved your life. In fact, I had a moment yesterday. I was fishing on the front of the boat and kind of got lightheaded, and I thought, damn, if I fell off this boat and cracked my head, I'd be dead right now.
That's
And
what's scary about the heat too. You get dehydrated and you start feeling dizzy. Y'all be careful. We
that's
want to see
that was
everybody here again.
exactly that's exactly what happened. But anyway, man, I appreciate it. Y'all have a good evening. And next week, I've got next week guest picked out. Already talked to him. It's somebody that it's kind of going to delve into the river fishing and some kayak fishing a little bit. I don't mean to steal from Alex, but um, it's a guy that I've followed for a couple of years on social media. Ought to be a real good one. It's going to be a little bit more content oriented too. Dude does some great footage, great videos and stuff. Be really worth checking out. But I'll drop that later on in the week, because I don't want to give it up in case something happens. But y'all have a good rest of your week. Y'all need anything, reach out to us on Facebook. Make sure you watch tomorrow Live Well with Clint and Danny, and then obviously the Thursday night show. And we'll see y'all next week.